presentation of KUSI News and the Prep Pigskin Report.
You are looking live at Mater Dei High School as we are moments away from perhaps the most anticipated high school football game, certainly in my 24 years here in town. Mater Dei ranked number 11 or 10 in the state. Cathedral ranked number 10. You could argue with those rankings, but one of them is number 1 in the county. One of them is number 2. We'll find out the answer to that. You are witnessing history in the making here at KUSI as referee shortage, Brandon, led to this opportunity to televise this game.
It's a difficult situation what's happened, Paul, with a shortage of referees in our county and frankly this country, and we understand why. But with these moves for so many games to be on a Thursday and a Saturday, we had this opportunity and we wanted to take it to bring you, our loyal fans, and those of you watching, frankly, across this country right now, whether watching us on your TVs or streaming us on KUSI.com or through the KUSI app, the opportunity to see a momentous game like this. It's incredible to be a part of it.
All right, the captains are meeting at midfield. We will bring you the coin toss live. I see Dom Nankill and Trey Edwards joining his other teammates. I guess one of the stories we should talk about is Nico Mosley.
Nico will not be a part of this game. That's tough. He's a man that helped lead them to a state championship last year. But this is Mater Dei, and depth is their key, especially elite depth. Anthony McMillan is more than ready for this game as a junior to deliver against a tough Cathedral defense that has a lot of returning starters and D1 talent.
You know, a lot of folks are saying this is Mater Dei. They were returning all these starters, as you mentioned. They have a host of players that are going to be playing at the collegiate level and perhaps beyond. And everyone's saying this is going to be Mater Dei's night. But you know what? If you're a Cathedral Catholic fan, you've heard this before.
Tails, here we go. It is a hit. Defer. You have the football. Okay. What do you guys want to kick from? Okay, next over here.
And Cathedral will have the football to start out this ball game.
Mater Dei wins the toss and defers, so they'll obviously take the ball in the second half. But as I was saying, Brandon, everyone's talking about Mater Dei, Mater Dei, Mater Dei. But until the giant is slain, I don't think you can ever count Cathedral Catholic out. Now, they have a lot of new faces, or we're going to be talking about their new quarterback coming up in just a bit, as we'll get his first look at Jake Stevens. But I'll tell you what, until you beat Cathedral, can you really say Cathedral's an underdog in this contest?
To be the man, you got to beat the man. It's always tough to beat Cathedral. They always have dominance at the time of possession. They're always tough in the trenches, and they know how to eke out the ball when they need to, and that's what makes it so thrilling. Do you want to take the time now to try and go down the field, see what we can get?
Well, I think we should do that right now.
Let's see if we have Allison Edmonds on standby. Allison, do we have you? What's going on down
Allison.
there with the Cathedral crew?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We can hear you barely. All right, let's try Bo Furtek. Bo, do you have your audio worked out yet?
Taking that as an out.
Okay, I tell you what.
Let's do this. Let's talk about some of these starters here for a second, since we know Cathedral's going to have the ball. Let's go ahead and see some of the starters and impact players for this Cathedral offense. We already know the wing tee, their version is very dangerous. Let's go ahead and show that if we can. Really should see what that halfback, fullback meld can do. Rocco Ballesteri, part of a great football family here. He takes that halfback role, and Will Bond, who's been very successful in earlier years. Lucky Sutton got the ball a lot coming into the last year. He's our silver pigskin winner, but Will Bond, he had 400 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. And Marcus Ratcliffe, the SDSU commit, you see him there listed as a wide receiver, but you're going to see him more on defense as well. We'll be showing you his abilities there too. Incredible guy, SDSU commit, and a lot to deliver as a 3-star recruit.
And I think Victory Johnson is aptly named, as he is a stud linebacker. And then when you have a video game named after you,
Victory Johnson might be the best player on defense right now. Madden Faremo is going to be the best player on defense.
A young player who's only a sophomore right now. But as we were getting ready to receive the kickoff, I'll tell you what, this is just flat out exciting.
It really is.
Folks, I know. You know, we may maybe get a little giddy about high school football, but we're so excited about bringing you this game, and I think we should just listen to the opening kickoff, and we'll take it in from there.
I think that's exactly what we'll do, Paul. Take it full screen, folks. Sit back, enjoy. This game is for all of you, our loyal fans of the Prep Pigskin Report. and KUSI.
All right, let the showdown. 1 versus 2. We'll decide which is 1 and which is 2 in about 2.5 hours.
Nice return there from Will Bond, but the ball is on the ground, but recovered there quickly and effortlessly by Matt Kjernjek. That's the corner there, a senior. And now taking the field, Cathedral ready to roll here. We'll go ahead and see they have a very large offensive line, but it's also a very young offensive line. Only 2 seniors there. Look out for their left tackle, Mr. Rajirk, 6'4", 280 on the season. We also saw a lot of different choices being made about who would be the quarterback of this team, but you see him walking out now. Jack Stevens. He's the junior, a transfer player, folks. He's out of Henderson, Nevada. He's a 3-star who has an offer from North Texas, but also interest from Florida State. And let's see him here on first down. We have the ball at the 30-yard line, and we see that wing tee ready to go.
And
go ahead.
They love to give the ball to the fullback, Will Bond, with a short gain. And we're going to see just a lot of that because they will try to, on a warm day today, Brandon, you would think that a bigger offensive line can wear down maybe the smaller offensive line. That's going to be a story to follow as we get deeper into the contest.
I think it's going to be a big story, but don't discount modern day's defensive line when you have folks like Nate Campbell. He's the senior leader on that line, along with Monjerez, Vasquez, Beltran. Quality players who want to really prove themselves tonight, especially getting new experience as Stevens under center again.
All right, shifting in formation.
So we do second.
Strength to the left side of the field, to the wide side. Stevens looks for the short toss.
Very nice roll out there.
Short of the first down.
Unexpected. They're going to Charlie Apps. He'll be playing basically that tight end shift H-back role tonight. He was actually put in as a reserve in this game, but he's the one who actually ends up getting the first catch in this game as we go to 3rd and 10. You saw John Joyner there, by the way, giving a little pleading with the umpire there. And we love John Joyner around here. He's a quality man, and he's helped this team get to three division championships here in the last decade.
So we're looking at 3rd and 3 passing situation for Cathedral? Not necessarily, right?
Well, it's Cathedral. I consider every situation a running situation, but we'll see. Big handoff off the side, tripped up and pushed back. Isaiah Buxton is going to lead the way right there, plus a little extra smack on that one as well by Kenyon Lapisi. He's a big key in that linebacker role. A lot of attention on Vincent Friend and Trey Edwards, but don't sleep on Lapisi as well.
The play was made by Edwards, who got penetration and made first contact. As we look at it again, watch number 3 come off the edge, beat the pulling guard or pulling tackle.
And nice little trip there.
And then set up the play. So
that's what makes him so talented.
Yeah, that's why UCLA wanted him so badly. This is Cathedral punting away on 4th and 3 situation. And we have a timeout as we take our timeout.
Modern day, their first timeout of the half.
Well, that's interesting. Why would
Welcome back to the broadcast. All fair catch there by Modern Day as they're getting things ready to roll with this big-time high-impact offense.
We have our first penalty flag, though. Was that an interference of some sort? Or was it a...
He did wave, so I'm not sure what the penalty would be for.
Well, there is, it's being marked off against Modern Day. I don't know if it was some sort of unnecessary roughness, or is it being picked up?
We're going to wait and find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out together. Here we go. Let's listen in.
On the return, block in the back, on return team, number 8. 10-yard penalty from the return of the kick. First down.
Got to be difficult to get a block in the back penalty when you call for a fair catch. It's called everyone has to have their eyes up, and they clearly did not on that play. Let's introduce Dom Nankill here. He's the leader of this modern-day blur offense, and it is a blur. You're going to see plays going off within 10 to 13 seconds of each other, and we're excited to see exactly how that works out with a bevy of offensive talent. It's a 4-wide offense spread. And just alone, Jerry McClure, Cruz Estrada, Shiraz Buncombe, and Roland George alone, those guys would all be number ones on their individual teams, yet they're all here. And on top of it, 3 players behind them who would also be 1s or 2s on their individual team. In other words, it's a lot of great talent here.
Grease lightning is, I think, a phrase that you would use to describe how they play the game. They stretch the field, and they make basically they're looking for those isolated moments where they can put one of their fast guys on one of your slower guys. In a lot of ways, while it's a sophisticated attack, it also has that element of just my guy's faster than your guy, and that's what the matchups they're looking for. It's a game of matchups, and now they've decided
that change.
Now they've decided.
On the return, the block is Montgomery on the kicking team, blocking the back. The ball was fed 10 yards beyond where the ball was caught. First down.
Okay, well,
it's the first day of work for everybody around here,
yes.
So don't you worry.
Well, that's
I'll be saying that about myself plenty.
I didn't know the punting team. It must have been a block on the deeper on the center field. Anyhow, let's.
Doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter. The Crusaders will start 1st and 10 on their own 33, and it's our first look at Dom Nankill and his star-studded attack.
And we'll see if they go right to McMillan from the very beginning or try to hurl it down the field. Bit of a false start there, it looks, on the top. You saw McClure there in the slot. He seemed to have moved early. We'll see if that's the call or if there was something inside.
All right, let's take a look at the modern day.
After we get the call here.
Here we go. I mean, look at. Most high schools are fortunate enough to have one of these players of this caliber, just 1 on their team, maybe 2 in a special year. To have this many guys who can ring the bell as quickly as these guys can, it's just an embarrassment of riches for modern day.
It really is. You say a guy like Shiraz Buncombe, he's spending his time at Kansas next year as we see an incomplete pass there, shut down by Victory Johnson, who we'll be talking a lot more about later. And then you continue on with that quality offense, folks. We were mentioning McClure. He has offers from 18 different teams right now. Guys like Chris Snyder, even though he's on defense, you're going to see him in the passing game. Cruz has an offer from BYU. He's a 3-star recruit. And there's so many of these guys who can play here as we're facing 2nd and 15. Quick look back as they change from Verlaine Batofe. He's the offensive coordinator here. A big engine that makes this run, along with Aaron Jones on the defensive side as well. We'll see what they do here. 2nd down, pitch back to McMillan. He's a big back, and you can see him go off a big chip block. And he's going to go out and get a nice chunk of yardage here. He's going to get 12 down to the 40-yard line. Still going to leave him short of the first.
Yeah. It's interesting when we look at the pitch play here. Again, it's just a matter of isoing, putting enough hats on your guy, leaving one guy on block.
And notice the great block by Cruz there. Really quality block as well. Really trying to find his position today, especially on Ty Cordes, who's very good in this Cathedral secondary.
A very manageable 3rd and 3 right now.
Very manageable.
9:39 left in the first half. We're looking at 3rd and 3. The Crusaders' first 3rd down situation.
3 wide to the left here for Nankill as he takes a look back in the check. And you can maybe see some checking in from the defensive backfield here.
Little bubble screen again.
That's the McClure,
nice
but
play
easily
there.
Shut down. Madden Faremo, there goes that sophomore outside linebacker that we were already discussing early, and you can see exactly what he's doing again.
Flag on the field.
Flag on the field. We'll see what this is all about. Could be a legal block here, but
Illegal
we'll see
block,
on the
I'm
screen.
guessing, but we'll find out.
There's no penalty for ineligible downfield as the pass was caught behind the line. 4th down.
And a 4th down for modern day after a great
Ball
defensive
be
stance here. We'll take a look one more time here. Watch Madden get a great, perfect break on the play here. He's in the middle and perfectly managed out.
Beat his block, and there you go.
Doesn't get any finer than that. And you can see that bevy of starters that Cathedral's relying on defense. A lot of people, when you talk about the Cathedral team, all they want to talk about is running the ball on their bevy of backs. Maliga, Gaffney, Sutton, and so many far in between. But it's really always been a defensive-minded team, a team that starts not just in the trenches, but with great linebacker work over the years. But now we have a punting situation. You notice not the conventional punter there. McClure is your punter, and not a bad one at all here, going back for Bond, who looked like he was going to let it go, and lets it go all the way out to the 12-yard line.
All right, let's take another timeout. We'll be right back with more from Mater Dei High School.
Second down.
Welcome back, everybody. Some difficulties for the Cathedral offense to get things started. No gain and then a penalty here as we're looking at 2nd and 15. 7:50 right now in the first quarter. It's Mater Dei against Cathedral. Battle of the Titans.
All the good football players on this field, and you don't have to be a college recruiter to have number 3 from Mater Dei just jump out at you. He's bigger, faster, and more aggressive than the people that are trying to block him.
Certainly is. Incomplete pass there from
We've got to remember, this is early in the year for us. So certainly on the Prep Picks report, it's early in the year for these guys, and to play a game of this magnitude on what, 14, 15 practices?
It's not easy.
It's a little bit like a heavyweight fight. You're going to feel yourself out.
Yeah. And that was Shiraz Buncombe right there. And we're going to talk a little bit later. He's not the first Buncombe to be on our air, and he's nowhere near the first Buncombe to be a featured member of the San Diego community. The Buncombe family runs deep in this town, and we're going to talk a little about the Buncombe's history with this show coming up here in a few moments. But for now, let's enjoy 3rd and 15 here.
And again, Edwards just
right down the middle.
The man-child. Jeez.
Knows exactly what he is doing. I think that's his 3rd tackle of the day.
Yes, and for people who thought, Cathedral's advantage it will be in the interior line, I'm not so sure about that, at least not what I'm seeing. And the Cathedral offense is certainly not designed for 3rd and 15s. Not many offenses are, but certainly not the Dons' run-oriented attack. That's just
that's a tough road to hoe, sir.
So as you're seeing the battle of field position swing in Mater Dei's favor, the Dons will now punt from deep in their own territory in the shadow of their own goalpost.
Back to receive, number 7, Cruz Estrada.
And watch out for Estrada as a kick returner here. The one thing that he has is speed, and a lot of people don't realize just how fast he can be in the open field. Won't get the chance here, blows. The ball will dribble out at the 46 of Mater Dei. Great field position for them. We'll see exactly what they can do with it.
All right, are we going to take another break?
See if we take another break.
Okay.
But if we don't, let's go ahead, if we can, and talk about the state titles that these teams have won. If we have a chance to pull that up. Both of these are state title teams. How they did it were in 2 different ways. You have Cathedral that went out and beat Folsom last year. It was a last-second touchdown. You may remember it was a quarterback sneak they ran. Charlie Meyer got free and was able to run away with it. But then Mater Dei did it the tough way. They beat Helix in their state semifinal.
Oh, look at this! Look at this formation. 4 to the.
Yes, big bunch here.
Well, I don't even know what you call that. The box to the right.
Full. It's almost like a full house of sorts. But this is the kind of unique things you see from this Mater Dei offense. We'll see exactly what they can do with it as they run the back checks. Keep your eyes on the screen to the back end as well.
Verlaine dialing this up special for Cathedral, I'm sure.
Back to Nankill, looking deep, very deep, but the problem is the ball is out of the way. 2 men covering McClure smartly. Very, very smart on their end. Ty Kors was there deep for Cathedral. as I was saying.
As you were saying.
And I thought we had some shots of it too. One thing that's interesting about that modern day game, we were all there for that Helix game. That was a tough game, fought till the end. Probably the toughest play they had was a man that we were talking about subbing in tonight, Anthony McMillan, got a great run off the left side in that second quarter and was able to make something happen with it. 2nd and 10 now. You see Nan Kill analyzing in the back as he has 3 wide receivers.
Plays are being called in. He goes to the consults his wrist.
Yes.
And I think that everything they do is kind of a run-pass option.
It reminds me of college from 10 years ago, trying to get a tough block on the back of Dean Janikowski, but he runs free. Nankill off the right, throws. This one is caught by Jerry McClure, and he is on the way. Touchdown, Modern Day Crusaders. Great pass there, caught by Jerry McClure for the touchdown.
And there's an example of Nankill's mobility, how his mobility kills. He made this play happen, stepping up into the pocket, buying enough time, and the defense breaks down, and you just...
Number 54.
Oh, no.
Plays come back. Plays.
Replay, 2nd down.
A replay there. They end up having a tough holding call, as you can see there.
Well,
you can see it on the other side.
Yeah,
but you also notice that Nankill had to rush to his right because of 2 guys trying to attack to his left, including Janikowski, a very tough guy on the line for Cathedral. Well, that's a tough one as they get Beltran for the hold.
So the points come off the board. 6:22 still in the first quarter. Cathedral now facing a long 2nd and 20.
Paul, I wasted my good touchdown call already.
I know, boy. I'll tell you what, you went down an octave. Excuse me, I said Modern Day facing a 2nd and 20. But you know what? When you say offenses that are facing are designed for long down situations,
this means nothing.
Yeah, Modern Day can gobble up 20 yards, no problem, with a couple plays.
And we'll see if they do it here inside the McMillan. Tough road to hole.
Number 22, Anthony
Gonna get 1.
That play right there is keep the rush honest play, just to keep the defenders from
keep a man at home,
their ears pinned back, make them play a little more honestly. We'll sprinkle in a run or two, and now we're looking at 3rd and 24. The ball on the 26-yard line. We have 5:57 to go in the first quarter. Nankill taking the snap, looking to the sidelines. Oh, play adjustment. And now he's calling out the changed play. And here we go. A long 3rd down situation, and the rush is on.
You see Jano there looking. That's a tough one going out, and finally pushed on down.
Sometimes discretion's the better part of valor there. Dom not taking the hit.
And there was none there. This is a big one by Sean Kagan, the inside linebacker. And they're going to have to reset things here on 4th down.
There's a series where the Dons pass rush made their presence felt.
And quickly.
Yes.
It was going to take some time, and the difficulty with this modern-day offensive line is you also have some newbies on it as well. This was the part that a lot of people were discussing walking into the year was, could both of these lines, are they the weakest point for both of these teams? But a lot of teams can turn some perceived weaknesses into strengths. We saw that with the screenplay, and we saw that with the dump off down close to McClure earlier. By the way, McClure clearly the engine of this team in the early going. As the kick goes backwards, flying up in the air, grabbed out of the sky, and that's going to be an incredible touchdown for Taylor Diaz. Cathedral on the board in the most surprising of ways.
You know, we were talking about this is early in the year. Special teams are always the slowest to develop, and special teams in big games like this can often be the difference.
It's a tough one. You see, it goes off of the shin, then the foot of McClure that was pointing the other direction, and that's how I was able to get loose and be in perfect position for Diaz to grab the ball.
Talk about a swing of emotion from Modern Day being up 7 and now being down 7. That is the first body blow, if you will. How they respond, we'll find out. But right now, let's take a quick time out. After this extra point.
You were so earnest in it, too.
I know.
And hopefully after we take that break, too, I want to hear what Allison has to say on the sidelines after we come back from that break and what they said about that big break, too. But for right now, the extra point here by Lucas Burning.
Soccer style kicker, ball's down, kick is up.
Trying to replace Joey Cheek from last year and makes it happen there with the kick.
Special teams player of the year on the PPR. We'll be right back. Don't wander off. Thank you to all our sponsors who are making this happen. First play from scrimmage after that touchdown off a block punt, if you will. Let's go straight down to Allison Edmonds for her take on what is taking place at Mater Dei High School.
I'll bring up 2nd and 7 from the 23-yard line.
Oh,
Hi,
Allison.
Oh, there we go. We hear you.
Go
on
Allison,
ahead.
go.
Hello. I can barely hear you guys, so this might be a little sketchy. My IFB keeps dropping out. But hello, we are here on the sidelines, and wasn't that touchdown incredible?
It sure was.
Yes, it was incredible. What did you hear from Diaz when you went back there, and what did you hear from Cathedral as they came back from that interesting play on special teams?
Pass complete, number 14.
All right, we'll get back to Allison right now. That's a good way to respond.
Smart way. Go back to the guy. You have a situation where the guy makes an error and you go straight back to him on offense and say, get that out of your mind. Smart move by Joyner. Probably told Nankill, get the ball to McClure quickly and often.
If anybody thinks that Mater Dei is going to fade because of that bad turn of events, you're sadly mistaken. This team has got some grit, some true grit, and you're seeing it right now as they respond with the first down toss.
They've dipped into Cathedral territory here as we're clicking down with 3:25 and counting. Going inside to McMillan, no, big fake. Going to Shiraz, Bunkum gets tripped up by Farimo, dropped at the 40. That'll be a gain of 9 for them. Should be a first down now for Mater Dei as they keep the things moving.
RPOs, run-pass options, are the rage now, certainly at the collegiate level. But boy, to see the sophistication in Mater Dei's attack as they are basically running a college offense.
And those two are hungry at Mater Dei, too. Yeah. Those 4 and 2 you saw, that's DJ Overstreet and Chris Snyder. Those are the starters in the defensive backfield, and they are certainly hungry for what happens next here. You see a reset by Nankill for facing 2nd and 2. And takes it inside to McMillan, who grinds across for the first down. Dropped at the 37.
And Nankill's ability to get rid of the ball quickly and to move around negates some of Cathedral's advantage in the interior line, at least as an offensive defense, because he gets the ball, he gets rid of it so quickly, and he makes such smart decisions as far as to hand the ball off or to throw the ball, that is very fatiguing if you're a defense and the guy's always guessing right and not making the mistake that leads to a loss, tackle for loss.
I fully agree, Paul. The thing that gets you in high school football so often is you can have experienced players, but when you have players who know the system, that sometimes is even greater, that experience. With the toss back to McMillan, had to grab it, and he did. But boy, he has targets on him. The targets get there quickly. Jonathan Solomon, along with Ty Cortez, both getting on the ball there very quickly, negating the entire play. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Cathedral on the board, but only on the board because of a Mater Dei mistake.
We're looking at 2nd and 9 from the Dons 36. As this is the second time Mater Dei has been on
flex here. And he's looking deep, over the head, tipped and almost caught by McClure. Pays for it, lays out and pays for it. We'll see if he can get up. Looks tough. May not be able to as we see Shiraz coming in to check on him. That was a tough collision there in the defensive backfield as we take another look. He tried to tip it to himself, came very, very close. But instead of the hard collision with Marcus Ratcliffe, you see exactly there why Brady Hoke wants him on that San Diego State team. He knows exactly where to go to on the defensive side to stop those deep plays from happening.
Just landed on Ratcliffe's leg, I think. Oh, and now adding insult to injury, no pun intended.
Amen.
That Paul.
That's the second holding penalty.
Do you take that? Do you take this penalty? Do you have 3rd and 9, or do you take 2nd and 19 if you're the Dons? Do you accept the penalty?
I accept the penalty because I want to get them off the field.
All right.
Excuse me, I decline the penalties when I get them off the field.
Yeah.
My apologies. Let's see what we conjure here. I wonder if we have Bo at all. We haven't heard from him yet today.
Bo Furtag, can you hear us at all?
Ball will be spotted at midfield.
Oh, Bo.
For Mater Dei.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please tell us what's going on that Mater Dei sideline.
Right. Great. Yeah, Mater Dei right now, they're a little shaken up after punting the ball off the back of their own player. Cathedral right now is daring Mater Dei to run the ball. They're running 2 safeties high. On that last combo route, they ran a wheel route. The way to attack two safeties is either through the middle or on the sideline. So they had a player work inside out and that last receiver outside in. They tried to go up the middle. It wasn't there. But they're going to keep them in 2nd and long and just keep Mater Dei throwing the ball under really the two safeties. They're going to have to get dinks and dunks right now. Cathedral is not going to allow anything over the top. We saw a possession ago where they ran that stack formation on the near side. Then they went deep on the far side of the sideline. They're trying to get numbers on their side. But unfortunately, like I said, Cathedral is not going to allow any big plays over the top. They are daring Mater Dei to run the ball, and they know that they have the size up front. Looking at Mater Dei's offensive line and looking at Cathedral's defensive line, Cathedral definitely has the size. They are the standard in Division I, and they look the part. Mater Dei is definitely undersized in the trenches, and Cathedral knows it, so they are daring them to run the ball. Really, to open up this pass game, Mater Dei is going to have to get a running game going, and it is opposite of what they did last year when they put 40-plus points up. They could pass the ball at will, but today, it's simply not the case.
All right, Bo, thank you so much. It goes back to that, whether you take the penalty or not. That was a big game there, the short toss yards after catch by Anthony McMillan, so it sets up a 3rd and 12. The ball is on the Dons' 40-yard line. Bo, thank you so much for your insight. Bo Furtag, the South Bay correspondent, has often watched Mater Dei play, so he knows Mater Dei like the back of his hand.
And he was right there when he was talking about Cathedral only giving them the side plays, because what did we see as he was mentioning that? They go straight to McMillan off of that shift, and it gets them a whole lot of yardage, and it gets them back into Cathedral territory.
But whether or not the Dons can stay in that look remains to be seen, because can you really give up 12 yards at a crack to this explosive offense?
Only way to find out with a big blitz from Faremo. You see the step by Nankill, seeing if he can get it out. He decides to scramble instead and make some room and digs everything he can of it. But we've got some mouthing on the sideline, and we will see who's at fault for that.
That will be an automatic first down.
And it's especially frustrating for Cathedral, too, because those are your backups mouthing. They have one job: catch Nankill, push him out of there, and be quiet.
Yes.
It's actually 3 jobs, but you get what I'm saying.
So they're going to take the penalty and first down. Another, your first mental mistake of the year, or of the game, and maybe of the year. But I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Sean Doyle, someone's going to get
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Marcus Ratcliffe.
A strange one from Ratcliffe there, too. Not what we would expect to see from one of the senior leaders of this football team, unless they're marking another 3 from the JV that hasn't changed his jersey.
Which we won't know about until halftime.
We'll find out at the after party.
But right now, here comes a very serious Mater Dei threat as they try to get their equalizer. 1st and 10 on the 20 with 1:17 to go in the first quarter.
And I really love the way that Nankill established that line of scrimmage, saw that invisible line and didn't tread past it until he had to. That's that senior leadership and senior experience we were discussing earlier. That shift again to McMillan. We'll see if it turns into anything for him. Now we're seeing right to left movement going inside. They try to switch it up and go to McMillan there.
3
and
or
that's
4
a
yards.
tough pile there. Ooh, and some extracurriculars, but nothing will come of that. Gets that one out for 2 yards, it looks
And they get right back on the ball. Right about now, I'm guessing Cathedral's legs a little rubbery as they've been on the field, the defense has, for a little while. And it's a post-toasty warm day here in the South Bay as the clock ticks down.
As toasty as it gets. Who on Cathedral's defense has impressed you the most so far, Paul?
On Cathedral's defense, well, Faremo is certainly, he jumps out at you.
Making himself known. A big shift, big stuff. Only a couple yards there. Initial contact by Kagan.
A very doable 3rd down as they're looking at about 3rd and 4. Will they let the clock run out and go the other way?
We'll see if they do. I believe that was the 7th touch of the day from McMillan, and he's making the most of them. He's a big bear, he is. You cannot tell by the size of the television just how much of a man that he is. As the clock winds down, this is Mater Dei. They do like to get as many plays off as they can.
But I don't know if
I don't think it'll happen here. 3 and a 2 and a 1.
And we are headed to the other way. Let's take a quick commercial word. You're watching the Saturday Night Special right here on KUSI.
Welcome back here as we see what this team can do. They are facing right on the 11, switch back to the right side. McMillan has a path that quickly gets clouded up by Ratcliffe and a host of other Dons. Welcome back here, 11:50 and counting. Cathedral up 7-0, but Modern Day clearly in the hunt as we welcome you back to this Saturday night showcase. Two of the best teams in San Diego County, and a game brought to you specifically, especially, and happily by KUSI and the Prep Pigskin Report.
They optioned off Luke Westfall there from Cathedral. If he went after the quarterback, there was going to be the pitch. That's what he did. And that's how the option works. One man's left unblocked, and you pick your poison.
Now, Anthony McMillan, he has 41 total yards so far after the first quarter. They are on 8 touches. And he's about to get some more to go off the right side. Big break, block, and touchdown. Modern Day getting on the board. Call him a sub. No, call him dominant. Anthony McMillan in the end zone. They're going to get a penalty for spiking the ball. But trust me, the Crusaders won't care as they crusade all the way to the end zone. 7-6, extra point potentially coming.
That is an example of wearing down your opponent with a multifaceted look. They used about 5 or 6 different formations on that drive, spread the ball out, and you just don't know. Modern Day, who do you double?
For right now, they think they should double McClure, but and justifiably so the way that he ran earlier. But McMillan's the one making it happen.
That penalty we enforced on the kickoff.
You certainly won't enforce it here, as that's a 10-yard touchdown by Anthony McMillan. Extra point coming here to make it 7-7 if they can get it. Quick facts about Anthony McMillan. He is definitely wanted all across this country. He's just a junior, but you can still see the strength there from the emerging star, the 3-star
29, Ricky Osuna.
By a whole lot of schools across the county. If you're wondering what a few of them are, Arizona, Colorado, Colorado State, and Utah State. Those are the teams that have offered him. That's only going to peak up for the 6-foot, 215-pound running back. The extra point is good there. Let's take a look at it again. You see beautiful block inside. Big credit to 51 and 65 there. Didn't quite catch who they were.
I think that play was originally designed to go inside. He just ran. It
was a great block by Sam Vasquez to seal inside. And smart by McMillan to go to the outside.
And let's not forget, this drive was helped along by a Marcus Ratcliffe penalty, a roughness penalty on Dominic Nankill. Those two guys, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they both date back to the East Lake Panther days playing for Clark Moses.
And a lot of those guys played on this very field when they were young. Yeah. That's the video we had, which also reminds me that I should have cut it before we got out here. Oh, well.
I just wonder if that any bad blood between those two, if it dates back to those days of youth football. Some scores never get settled, and as we are now,
it's like, uh-oh.
So 11:18 to go in the second quarter, and we are knotted at 7. This ball game living up to expectations.
Living fully up to expectations. I'm wondering if we could talk about the bunkums now, just reference for the back between 32 and 33. I want to talk about the Bunkum family here after we get this kick going. Fun fact for them. But let's get this kick in now before we head on out of here. You can see Paulo Arande ready to kick this one off for Modern Day. 11:18 to go in the second quarter. It's a tie game at 7. A little pooch there drops into Ethan Ford's hands, and he'll take it.
Interesting decision. Why would he give up field position? All right, welcome back. Don's facing a 2nd and 8, a ball on their own 42. They have yet to put together an impressive drive like Mater Dei just did.
But this may be their time. We will see if it is. Stevens back to pass, the transfer from Nevada, using that right arm to his advantage, and finds a receiver and finds a quick Ramon Lucero, the number 2 receiver for this team, going down inside inside Mater Dei territory. That's the first big move we've seen from this Cathedral team of that length. And by the way, congrats there to Anthony McMillan. You see him there really excited off of that touchdown drive, hanging out with Nan Kill and the boys that love to hang out on the sideline there and keep it chill. Let's go 1st and 10 now, 41 of Mater Dei. You see them set up in that shift back they love so very much to do. Handoff inside going to Ethan Ford, who gets a big rip and rips off a whole lot of yards there as he's taken down swiftly by Anthony Lopez. Lopez, a very talented safety, had an interception in the Division III championship for Mater Dei when they took out Ramona. He was dangerous in that game. But the dangerous one now, Ford with a big 8-yard gain, setting up 2nd down here. They're on the 33 as we continue to click down. Once again, thank you for joining us on this special Saturday night broadcast. It's Cathedral taking on Mater Dei. And yet another run inside. Will Bond wearing the 7 that Lucky Sutton made famous, the Silver Pigskin finalist, who, by the way, is having himself quite the day today as well down at Snapdragon Stadium for SDSU's first scrimmage, the first scrimmage at Snapdragon. What a world.
From what I understand, well attended. But hey, let's go down to the field. Allison is standing by with Burke Grossman.
Hey guys, Bert and I are here on the sideline. I believe our photographer is checking out this next Cathedral play. But Bert, let's talk a little bit about what you have seen so far. It's been a pretty evenly matched game, it seems like. Talk about the first Cathedral touchdown and first Mater Dei touchdown.
First was obviously, it didn't look like Cathedral do anything on offense. I think everything that we thought was going to happen, them Mater Dei being overpowered. This isn't a big Cathedral team. They're not as disciplined as usual with the big penalty down here on Ratcliffe, but it's been different Cathedral. I've been kind of surprised. The Mater Dei's held up so far. I think in the end, with the athletes, Mater Dei might end up winning this, surprising everybody.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting so far. Is there anything in particular other than what you just mentioned that's been maybe surprising from either one of these teams?
Not really. I mean, what you expect to see was Trey Edwards clogging up the middle, which he's doing. This is not a big Cathedral team. It's probably the smallest I've seen. I think anything I took out of this game so far is Lincoln's the favorite for division right now.
It's definitely going to make, we've been talking about it, Bert and I, on the sidelines. It's definitely going to be an interesting rest of the season. I've kind of watched the talent of these two teams so far. So we'll see, guys. But so far, it's been a pretty fun, evenly matched game.
All right, Allison, thank you much. You just saw Jack Stevens there on the short carry, 4th down carry. He's a sophomore, recruited out of Las Vegas. I know.
I can hear the calls already.
All right. Listen, it was a good offseason when you can get a three-star athlete with 2 offers, and we have an injured Crusader on the field. Who is that?
Didn't quite catch who that was. We'll watch him. Hope he gets taken care of here.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. All right, who's coming off the field? Oh, boy, that is a big story right there, folks.
Oh, no, that does not work at all.
Big story.
Our UCLA commit, the man who's worked so hard You see him there being lifted by Chris Snyder, Blaine Batofe taking him off the field. You talk about losing a piece of your heart and your soul for the modern-day defense. The man that keeps the time there, the man with so much skill, anticipation, a 4-year starter for this modern-day team being carried off the field, Trey Edwards. You talk about a loss. It does not get much bigger when it comes to a loss. They're losing that
just
man.
a good kid, too. Besides
Truly
being a
is.
great football player, you know, he has substance. And
Incredible substance.
Kudos to all the adults in his life. I'm sure Coach Joyner's just the bottom of his stomach just gave out there as he sees his star athlete.
And I'm trying to see, it looks as if McMillan is the sub there at linebacker. So his day just got a whole lot more complicated as you see a big rollout from Stevens trying to go deep. And he finds someone, Ratcliffe, as Tech Nation stand up. Touchdown, Cathedral Dons. Marcus Ratcliffe finding an opening. They wanted the challenge. They took it. And now Cathedral takes the lead.
I'll tell you what. What penalty? What penalty?
Radcliffe gets a penalty for his mouth, makes it pay off with his hands and legs. Let's see it again. You see him down at the bottom of the formation. Everybody buys inside the fake to Ballesteri, and it works out wonderfully as he beats the corner and gets in the end zone. Tough to beat DJ Overstreet, but that's exactly what Ratcliffe does for the touchdown for Cathedral.
Now here comes the extra point attempt as the Dons try to go back up by 7 with 7:40 to play in the first half.
Point after touchdown
Folks,
is good.
has this ball game
7:40
lived up
mark
to
of the second
expectations?
period. Your
Bo
score
Furtag,
now,
if you're
Cathedral
listening,
Catholic
please get over
48,
to the Modern Day
Modern Day Catholic
sidelines and
7.
find out any injury information you can.
And as soon as you do, you just start talking into that mic, sir. When you know it, you just shut us up.
You just don't like to see a player not be able to get off on his own power. That usually is indicative of more than a minor injury.
It
But
certainly is
we will not speculate. We'll just.
Indicative of that.
We've also seen guys get carried off and then return to the game. So we'll just hope for the best for Trey Edwards. I'm sure a lot of folks up in southern in the LA area are also have a keen concern on.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about Trey Edwards if we have the board of him, if we can. Right as soon as we get done with this kickoff, let's go ahead and see that board, talk a little bit more about him and help you understand why he's so important. But first, kick off here, going to Estrada was going to be the man, but instead it's McClure who's cutting to the left, has some space, gets past, nice shove block there as well. Knocked balls out, but recovered by McClure. McClure playing it fast and loose today. That's the second time the ball's had some trouble. It's a lot different than the first
that would have been
time.
bad news, but
as we see Modern Day go back out on the offense, let's talk about Trey Edwards, especially we're not going to see him anymore today. 29th ranked linebacker in this nation, that's according to 24/7 Sports, and he's been so talented. His sophomore year, he had 4 interceptions, and then he comes back his junior season and has 6 sacks to make it 7 for his career. What do you like about him, Paul?
Well, you know, he has all the physical tools. That's a given. I mean, he's bigger and faster than your average kid. But a lot of kids are that way, aren't good football players. He is a good football player. He likes contact, and that is a rare quality. As the Crusaders go to that
big screen to bunk him. That one's down on the ground, called incomplete.
A little bubble screen. And I'm looking ahead to week 4. We're going to see that Edwards-Roderick Robinson matchup as Modern Day was going to go to Lincoln.
Let's hope that we still will. We don't want to put him out yet.
Oh, of course. I'm hoping that is still on the books to happen. All right, Bo, do you have any information for us?
Yes, I do. I was over at the trainers area right now, and it doesn't look like Edwards is going to be coming back into this game. It looked like his ankle was rolled up on. Just looking at his face, he looks pretty distraught right now. I don't think he's going to come in. They had him stand on his foot. He couldn't put any weight on his foot. So it's going to be, I would say, doubtful right now for Trey Edwards to come back in, which is obviously going to be a big hit. First play of the game with him not on the field, and they score an easy touchdown. It doesn't look good for the Modern Day defense right now.
Oh, well, let's not.
They got a lot of great players. We'll see. We will see. But thank you very much, Bo, for that big-time update.
And
you hate seeing that off.
We know it's an ankle, not a knee. I think most people would say that's better than having a knee injury.
Absolutely. And we'll see what we can do here. 3rd down, 10 to go here for Modern Day. Nankill out of the shotgun. Not easy once again. Rolling in trouble. Looks, finds McClure. Big secure shifting to the left. Escapes one tackle. Gets bounced and big hit by Ratcliffe. But it won't matter because that's a whole lot of yards. 21 of them as they're out to the 42-yard line. We'll take another look on the replay, Paul.
I tell you what, I'm watching Dom, and I'm saying his favorite escape path is to the right. I wonder if the Dons are aware of that, because it seems like
it looks as if that's where they had Radcliffe shaded. Yeah. And I believe they had Jackson Holloway on that side as well. But
he likes to get to the
it.
right. All right, back in the pistol, and we'll see what happens here.
Lots of space for him as McMillan gets the ball, gets traded, a little drag there, but still taken down by Luke Westfall. He's a sophomore defensive end, by the way. This is a young line replacing guys like our PPR Defensive Player of the Year, Jackson Moy. And that's a tough role to play. Janikowski is the main man who takes on that role, but Westfall stepping up on his own. Little dash fake, nice little punch in right there. Roland George getting a catch for the first time today. It's a short catch, but he will keep this game rolling with a move like that.
Another three-star athlete lining up for Mater Dei.
And we still haven't seen all the depth yet, but I do notice, you see behind center, Chris Snyder now the man behind center, as McMillan has shifted now into Trey Edwards' spots. Smart move there. Snyder, they call him Boom Snyder, and for good reason. We haven't seen it yet on defense. We'll see if we see it on offense as they try to thread through.
A 3rd and 2 from the 48, from the Dons 48.
And they're sticking with
option play.
Can Jano get to him? Jano cannot. Gain of 5 there for Boom Snyder, and Mater Dei still has life. You can see that inspiration there as they're playing hard for their ailing teammate as he was dragged out of bounds there. A nice look here at the sidelines of Mater Dei where you can see a whole lot of that thick toughness. Vincent Friend was shadowed there. Vincent Friend is taking over the leadership role, I presume, on the defensive side.
Horse collar tackle, 65 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Mater Dei.
And they're going to get Jack Janikowski there for that horse collar as he was trying to get a hold of Snyder, but that is not to be the case.
So we're now flirting with another red zone opportunity for the Crusaders as they have 5:39, plenty of time to work with. As they look at a 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line, it's pretty much standard operating procedure. They get set, then they put a man in motion, and then snap the ball.
A man in motion, and boy, here comes the fire to Jerry McClure, taking it all the way down to the 12. Gain of 14 for McClure.
You know,
5th catch of the day.
Uh-oh, we could have a procedure penalty here. Maybe they
illegal motion on the offense.
I was going to say
54 went down.
My St. Elmo's Fire pun was very apt.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
All right. But I mean,
this is why you watch the broadcast, right? For 80s jokes? Or not?
Again, their offense is really subtle in that they don't have to block everybody. They just have, it's about finding open spaces.
That's all it is.
It's all about, it's a spatial relationship.
A band once sang about that, wide open spaces, and they find them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
they look to the sidelines.
We haven't gone to after. I already unraveled already. It's fine. Don't worry about it. 1st and 15 now after the penalty. Rolling to the left for Nankill. He's going to throw against his body. He will, and he finds quickly Mr. George. 2nd catch of the day. Makes it count as the 3-star receiver who needs some offers and needs them stat. And I'm glad to see him getting the ball because of it.
Was that Christopher Schilling with the pop here?
We can take another look and see who got the nice pop. No, that was Madden. That was Madden doing what Madden does best.
When you have a video game named after you, you know you're good.
Very smart indeed.
So we're looking at 2nd and 9 from the 25, Brandon.
We sure are. Look at another check here. Keep your eyes down low. You see Madden once again framed in, wants to go against that left tackle. We'll see if he can make it happen. It's 4 on 5 there. McMillan back in, doesn't get the ball, but you know who does. Roland George, 3rd catch of the drive, going exactly where they need to go, working the inside of the field. They've switched their intensity. You know, they said challenge us on the inside, and now they are Nankill in the slot game in a whole lot of different ways.
And that's what separates the men from the boys. Receivers that can go over the middle, not get the alligator arms, make the catch.
See there, look at how they fooled the linebacker there, because it was a linebacker or safety. That inside, McMillan's been so effective. They've gotten the ball over and over again.
Can we roll that play
You
again?
saw-
Can we run it twice, Brian?
On the offense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Remains first down.
A penalty's going to ruin what was a really effective exchange those last couple of plays.
Clever play.
But he was able to trick that backer inside, and that's what opened up the space for George to get open. I actually saw this last night during the city game of the league with El Camino and Saints. Those play actions, after a while, running that RPO, that's exactly what you want. You're finally getting those backers, those strong safeties, to hint inside, and that's when you can find those receivers like George over the middle. Now imagine what happens when they get a guy like McClure or Bunkum at that play. It'll be quite interesting.
So the ball gets pushed back to the 23, 1st and 10 for the Crusaders.
They lose the position, but they gain the yardage. As we see a deep ball, is it too deep?
Yeah.
It's almost caught by the other squad. Jack Church had his eyes on it.
Intended for Cruz Estrada.
And it's good to see him trying to get down the field to get to Cruz. He is their home run hitter, sometimes on the screen, but usually they're trying to get to him 40 yards down the field. But it's been tough sledding thus far. Jack Church, a talented corner. Maybe doesn't get as much discussion about him because he's got Holloway on the other side. Ratcliffe as a safety. Ty's a good safety too, so Church somehow gets left out. But you know what? It may be Saturday, but we're talking about Church.
All right, 2nd and 10 from the 23. Dom in an empty backfield.
What's he going to do with it? Go down the middle, tipped in the air, and this one is intercepted. Jackson Holloway, just like that, down in the end zone, and Cathedral makes it a whole different ball game with 4:30 to go in the second quarter. Paul, what did you see?
Just the ball was a little high, and once the ball gets tipped up, it's open air.
And it was a beautiful tip up in the air by Victory Johnson, who's actually mic'd for sound tonight, by the way.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. 3:54 Cathedral with an incredible play off the tip pass by Victory Johnson was picked off by Jackson Holloway. We mentioned that senior power on the defense, and you saw it there with two guys who have been a part of this Cathedral defense and were big keys to that state championship.
Downfield on the offense, number 78. Ball we spotted 5 yards from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
Negating a first down there as Cathedral's trying to work out from deep in their own territory. But some offensive linemen drifted downfield a little bit too far there, Brandon Stone.
And you can see, we talked about the senior leadership there. Notice Nanku is just trying to tell something to Cruz. Those two have been working together for 3 years, and you can see how working together works well.
Very good. All right, 2nd and 12, ball on the 18 of the Dons as they come from their wing T formation. Going nowhere as they go on the fullback dive.
A whole lot of nowhere.
A whole lot of nowhere.
Whole lot of nowhere. We mentioned Kenyon Lapisi there. He likes to work the edge of this 4-3 attack. They like to do that 4-3 over or 4-3 under call for the man watchers in the room,
right,
where you have someone leaning one direction and they end up turning into a 5-2 in some ways. Cathedral wants to discuss this a little more, so they're going to take their first time out.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
As they gather around Coach Sean Doyle, who all Coach Doyle has done in his tenure at Cathedral is what? How many?
We'll talk about what he's done when we come back.
All right, welcome back. 3rd and 10, ball on the 20. Take it away, Brandon.
But what can they do with it? We see a roll by Stevens. He's got someone on him, and that someone's got their claws, and they wouldn't let go. Davian Monjarez. This defensive line of Mater Dei, so much discussion about whether they were up to the task, and they certainly were. Take a look inside where they set up this play. You see them trying to make the read for the roll. It looks like they're only rushing 5, but there's a 6th. That puts immediate pressure, and you see him coming through on the inside. Gets a little extra bump along the way from Vincent Friend, and that's going to set up that 4th down, that one that so desperately is needed by Mater Dei. Really just a great defensive effort all the way around, disguising that blitz.
The Dons are very fortunate to be up 14-7. A lot of this turning on that special teams play, because I have to think that the foot speed advantage lies with the Crusaders.
And what people don't realize is that it also lies within that front 7 as much as it does the back 4. They don't realize that one of the best things this team can do is they know how to pay attention and not overcommit, and that's what we've really seen today.
Just to finish a thought, we were seeing Coach Doyle out there with his team, 11-time CIF champion, 3-time state champion. This season, he will pass the great John Shacklet on the all-time win list here in San Diego. He's only 8 wins behind Coach Shack. This looks like at least an 8-win team.
And no pressure when you're following folks like Hamamoto on that, on that play.
Coach Doyle's name does not come up enough when we talk about the great coaches in the county, because his resume speaks for itself.
And everybody puts the Cathedral discount on it,
right,
but you still have to get it done.
Yes.
And no matter what the special help can be. Big fielding by Cruz, gets tagged down once, but it doesn't take him down. Going to get less than 5 here, but make every single piece of it worth it as we get towards 2 minutes to go before halftime. Mater Dei is going to need this drive, but if there's any team that's built to score in under 2 minutes, it would be this team. I think they could score 3 times in 2 minutes.
Come on, this is not.
But the question will be for Joyner and this offense, the question's going to be, do you want to try and score quickly, or do you want to run all the timeout in the half?
I don't think they're worried. I don't think, just looking at it, I don't know that they're that worried. I think they can ring the bell. If I'm watching this first half and I'm Mater Dei, I'm thinking, you know what, we can play with these guys and we can play.
Holding, return team number 4. Ball replays 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down, Mater Dei.
While we have this pause, I'm hoping we can talk finally about the Buncombe family. And I have that video loaded for you if we can get it in there now. Let's talk about the Buncombe's. You already saw Shiraz out there with a couple catches. His brother, Frank Buncombe, silver pigskin finalist back in 2014 for the Saints. And he went on to play at Stanford. He's not just the best guy in the Buncombe family, though. The grandfather played for USC and played for the Chargers as well. Truly an acclaimed family.
Yes.
And it's cool to see Shiraz taking up his portion of that, too. Now we see Nankill sliding back out on the screen. Nice shot there, getting it to the aforementioned Buncombe. It's like you knew we were discussing him as the clock rolls with 1:57 and counting here, and you can see them moving it around. This is an offense that can keep it moving.
There's that video you're talking about.
There's Frank. You remember that championship game? He got hurt in the middle of it, and they still went on to win that game. Frank, he wanted to be a scientist as he was coming out of Saints, one of the smartest individuals I have ever met in my life. So we'll see what his Kansas-bound brother can do as Nankill goes deep, as the ball is knocked down by Ty Cortez.
Do you remember what Frank wore to the gala?
Double tie, sir.
He said he couldn't decide between 2 ties, so he wore them both.
2 men in our lives have won double ties to the Silver Pigskin Gala. Do you remember the other by chance?
Who was that?
Anthony Lawrence also went double tie. Also want to remind you as we're getting down with 1:29 to go, we will have a halftime show for you as well. Our Nick James, I can see him right now in the camo outfit, getting ready to break down all the things that you saw in the first
and
half.
For all you news junkies, we'll also take a news break as well.
Yes, we'll be hearing from Matt Pritchard, let you know what happened
Yes,
today.
Matt Pritchard will be joining us. As we look at a 3rd and 4 situation for the Crusaders, the ball on their own 41, and I believe they're taking their last time out. All right, so now you're thinking, okay, hey, maybe you're not thinking about scoring right now. Maybe you're thinking about just getting that first down so you don't give Cathedral another chance to touch the ball.
That could be smart. We've already seen this already. Even though Cathedral's not known as a quick scoring offense, they can certainly scare you and put you in a bad position. And they can run the best version of the no-huddle offense that you can run
in the county
by handing the ball off. They can actually achieve it.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Allison and Bert, are you there?
maybe not there, but I do want to give an injury update. I'm talking about Trey. Still on the medical table, cleat off. That's the last word that we just got from our man on the ground, Chase Isidore, letting us know that he's still getting worked on. We'll have to see if they can get something done to get him in the second half. Maybe not. But
all right, big third down situation.
3rd and 4 now.
When's the last time you saw Dom Nankill take a snap from under center?
The Clinton administration, sir.
All right, so Dons are taking their final timeout. Obviously, they saw something they didn't like, or a matchup they didn't like. Now, can we get to Allison and Bert?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing what Bert has to say about the tone of the game right now.
All right, sounds good. Bert, Paul's wondering, tone of the game. How you feeling right now?
Oh, goodness. You know what? I mean, the tone obviously changed when Trey went down with injury. Thankfully, it's just a sprained ankle. But you could tell the difference. Cathedral's been getting a lot more physical. But, you know, in the end, I think you still have Dom Nankill. And I think Mater Dei is going to pull it out because they have Dom Nankill.
Absolutely. And how do you think that, I mean, Trey seems like how's Trey seem like he's doing?
Trey seems good. I mean, as usual, I mean, you know, you're a kid in your senior year. But, I mean, we thought it was an Achilles or an ankle the way he came. I mean, you know, blown out knee, but the way he came off being a sprain, I mean, he has to realize he's probably going to be out 2 or 3 weeks, which is devastating your senior year, but nothing major at all.
All right, guys, there you go. Update from the sideline.
Good to see you deciphers it as a sprain. We hope it turns out to be
Dr.
the case.
Grossman, I think Bert has picked each team now twice to win this game.
How many episodes of ER do you think he's watching?
He could be a politician. All right.
But Dom's got the moves, though. Looking with the cannon, decides to go with it, and a wrinkle, but just dropped by Bunkum.
Bunkum cannot hang on after we run the family special.
Bunkum.
He got the catch after we discussed it. He's clear.
Yeah. you know,
we'll give him the break.
I was talking about how Dom likes to go to his right, but I'll tell you what, his ability to go left and to deliver a strike makes him a silver pigskin contender.
It sure does. You know, the toughest thing we have each year is you want to pick 5 different schools for 5 spots. And so far, we've been able to stick to it, sometimes to our own hurt and pain. This team may be making it more difficult, both these teams, frankly, and a couple others, than any year that we've ever had. The super team era is super hurting.
Yes. All right, so they're going to punt the ball away. Cathedral will have one more shot at it. It's just a matter of field position.
Gonna let it go unless he has to field at the very end, and he does. Interesting decision there from Will Bond, but gets it out of back.
Well, they can run the clock out. Mater Dei can't stop it, so what do? Do you just take a knee here and...
You have to give them some sort of attempt to get down the field, and they've got the horses if they want to. Lucero's got a catch today. Radcliffe we've already seen score. So there's a lot of options here for Cathedral if they choose to take them.
Hey, just a note to our Bert and Allison and Bo. Make sure you get us a halftime guest coming off the field as we're going to throw it down to you right away.
We'll see if they do.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll see what Cathedral breaks out with here with 1:12 to go before halftime.
You just hand the ball off, right?
And that's exactly what they've just done, getting a quick 3 there for Bond.
If those of you who are tuning in late, Mater Dei won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the ball first in the second half. As this ball game is living, even though they're coming off, 13, 14 practices, this is early in the year. They have not installed all their offense. They have not installed their whole defenses. Mm-hmm. It's still a good game.
And a lot of people, when you say it's going to be fireworks, they start imagining a big, big boom like the one that went south all those years ago. Sometimes the best fireworks shows start out softly, an appetizer.
Yes.
We'll see what the tap brings.
Interesting.
But they do throw it. Doesn't go anywhere, though. Nice attempt to get it to Bales, the senior tight end, but couldn't quite get it there.
Now, that's an interesting decision. But you know what? I don't think these teams have gotten to where they have in their historic careers and program histories by playing it safe.
No.
No, I mean, be bold and mighty forces come to your aid. I believe there's a saying like that. Well, certainly Mater Dei plays. That's their offensive theme. But Cathedral, I mean, come on. They've been in big game situations for as long as I can remember.
Amen to that.
All right, so you're looking at
saying for this matchup.
You're looking at the clock.
We're going to go again and do the pitch here off the left side, but it may work out well for them getting about 7 there on the carry. No, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong yard line. That was 2 yards.
Run out the clock,
that was
right?
2 yards, but the clock seems to be stopped at the present moment. So for whichever reason.
So, you know what? That decision to throw the ball
Change the entire dynamic of his possession because it's 4th down. Yep.
All right, so did I thought Mater Dei had already used all their timeouts.
No, I think you were thinking about the Cathedral timeout at the very start of the game.
Oh, so did I get it?
You know what?
Okay, so
don't worry about it.
Wait,
the clock has stopped and no one has any more timeouts, so you don't got to worry about it.
So there's a situation where you don't want to have to kick the ball, and now you're gonna.
And now you got to make sure you kick it out of bounds too, because you do not want Cruz or Jerry running that ball back.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you think it's going to take some time off the clock,
you do not
want that at all.
You do not want to give playmakers more chances than they
to make plays.
Yes, exactly.
Not at all. Again, make sure you don't change the channel when we go to halftime. We're going to have a KUSI news break. Matt Pritchard will tell you everything that's happened in the world here in San Diego and across the countryside in the world. Plus, our own Nick James is going to give you the opportunity to see all the highlights from the first half and hear from the people that made things happen. But we still have some game time now, 27 on the clock, 4th down for Cathedral, and they're going to go ahead and kick this ball away. We'll see exactly
I think
what their
Mater Dei
men
is
can
coming
do.
after this with a little bit of enthusiasm.
They sure look like they have the gunners and they have the space. Buxton almost gets to it, but instead that punt will go out right about the 50. It'll sit and lay there, and nobody will touch it up as they'll let the clock run down. But
all right,
it's just not
so
touching the
down,
clock run
down Nacular.
16 seconds, 50 yards. Anything is possible.
Speaking of apropos, both these schools have the Hail Mary in their repertoire.
Yes, at the church down the hallway, and right now.
All right, so I mean, why not throw it up? The 3 things can happen. 2 of them are good, right?
There you go.
You can catch it, or you can get an interference call.
Penalty, or near disaster.
Here we go.
Well, if they're going to do it, they can make it happen. Roland George sitting to the left side of the formation. McClure all the way on the right side, along with Bunkum. Bunkum now in motion going right to left.
I say keep your eyes on number 14.
Pick up block there by McMillan. The deep throw, like we were talking about, a little too deep out of the range of Jalen Hall. Coverage there by Holloway. By the way, as we look at Jalen Hall, a quick shout out to his father, Alton Hall.
Former PPR Red Jacket, who is a proud papa watching this game. I'm sure he is there in person.
Yes, he probably will never hear this shout out, but if you know him, please make sure you text him.
a longtime member of the PPR team.
A respected member of the PPR team for many years.
Always good. I follow him on social media. And the pride he has in his son is
10 seconds to go here. Nankill looking short here on the screen to Bunkum, trying to dish down pass for Ramo, ends up getting pushed down and snuffed down by Luke Westfall, and that'll about do it out here. Quite the game it has been. Some twists and turns, some miscues in defense.
Let's go to Bo Furtag on the sidelines. Take it away, Bo.
Let me know when you guys are.
We got you, Bo.
Right.
Please proceed.
We're here with Coach Joyner. Coach, 1 or 2 plays, this could be a different ball game right now.
Yeah, big mistakes from us. A special teams error and then a personal foul after a touchdown gave them great field position and went down. So, I mean, we're playing well. We can't gift the number 1 team in the county, things like that.
What's the message to the team during halftime?
Stop doing stuff like that. Just play. I mean, we're moving the ball on them really well. I think our defense has played fantastic. Our special teams have been great, just that one thing. But we just got to – we had the ball down on the 5 and get a personal foul. We just can't kill ourselves. It's Cathedral Catholic, so you can't do stuff like that.
This is nothing that you didn't expect, right, heading into this game?
Yeah, no, it's exactly kind of what we expected. A phenomenal coach, football team, and it's a close game, so just got to go play hard.
Best of luck to you second half, Coach. Yeah, we'll now, actually, before we head into Allison Edmonds, we're looking at Trey Edwards right here, and Trey Edwards is actually putting a lot of pressure on this foot. So my initial diagnosis of doubtful might be a little bit more questionable. It'll be interesting to see, as that is great to see if you're a Mater Dei Catholic fan. And we will now send it to Allison Edmonds, who's with Sean Doyle.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Brandon, hey, thanks, Bo. We were able to grab Sean Doyle. Good to hear about Trey Edwards, but this is Kevin Colgins, who's actually the president of Cathedral Catholic. And so what are your thoughts so far in this game?
I think it's a lot of fun. 2 Catholic schools in the same diocese, just competing with one another. Both are very good teams. And so far, so good, and it helps that we're on top.
And I see the MF on your shirt. There was a nice ceremony before. Talk a little bit about that and what he meant to the program.
Mario Fierro was the heart of Cathedral football. Everything that he represented is what our school is about, and he's sorely missed.
And what do you think this team needs to do in the second half to come out on top at the end?
Competing, stay disciplined, and we'll be okay.
Awesome. Keep Cathedral football. Just keep the tradition, right?
Keep the tradition.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. We'll be back in a little bit. We'll send things back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Allison. Thank you very much, Bo. Interesting information there. You saw Trey jogging around, standing, looking healthy. We'll see if that means we see him in the second half.
Sometimes you hear that snap or you hear that pop and it just scares you.
Certainly.
Obviously, you can't put your weight on it, but once that goes away a little bit, I might just tape that up, use a little extra tape, and get that kid back on the field.
Might be a smart move. It's been a heck of a game thus far. 14-7, Cathedral has the lead, but Modern Day certainly not out of it yet. And now is the time to start our wonderful halftime show, and for that, we're going to go to our main man, the man who usually runs weekends around here, but let us hang out with him for this one. That would be Nick James. Tell us what's happened in this contest.
I let you guys hang out because Paul Rudy, he always feeds us, Brandon. You know what? He comes out, brings out the black card. Paul Rudy always takes care of us. And Friday nights, we get pizza. And then on Saturdays, we get Jersey Mike's, one of our sponsors for the game of the week. So they take care of us. Kathy Brown over at Jersey Mike's. Thank you for always looking out for us here at the PPR in our 24th season. Thanks to Paul Rudy and everybody out here. Yeah, just to reiterate what Paul Rudy said, when you play football, the adrenaline is running while going through you. So like Paul said, tape it up, spat that young man up. He's going to UCLA in the fall and get him back on the field. As you saw right there before we cut out of it, Bo was saying he looks more like from doubtful to questionable. So that means Trey's out there putting pressure on it. He's got that adrenaline running through him. He may be able to get back on the field and run around and help his team and try to get back in the game here in the second half. So speaking of which, let's run through the first half highlights and see how it all played out for the 3 first half touchdowns. Here we go. This is how the first one got off. First quarter, Dominic Nankiel. He's going to be in the pocket. He's flushed out, and he's going to buy some time. He's going to hook up with Jerry McClure on the deep dig route. Two Dons get discombobulated and bump into each other. McClure takes it in for the six-pack, but hold up. There's some laundry on the field for holding. Bring that one back. So that one comes back, and that would not be a touchdown after all. So it's still 0-0 in the first quarter. A couple plays later then, the Crusaders are forced to punt. And I don't know if we have that or not. I'm not sure. But if we do have it, if not, I'll tell you what happened. It was blocked. The Crusaders had a punt blocked. Do we have that? Do we not have that? I'm not sure. But Ethan Hardesty, so what happened was a couple plays later, here it goes. We just cut that highlight a little bit fat. In TV terms is we cut it because I talked too fast, so we didn't let it fill. We didn't let it breathe. I'll let this breathe. They're going back to punt. It's kicked into the back of a Crusader. Ethan Hardesty scoops, scores. Thank you very much. Walks into the end zone in the South Bay. So now, instead of being 7-0 Modern Day, it's now 7-7. So I was a math major at CSU San Marcos, Paul and Brandon. So that's a 14-point swing. So now Cathedral goes up 7-0 instead of being down 7-0. So that would be how it all popped off right there. Then this is what happened just a few plays later. Modern Day would come back and they would respond quite quickly. Anthony McMillan Jr., Deuce is on the loose. He would get the ball and he would get home from about 10 yards out, and that would tie the game. I'm not sure if we have that touchdown. I know we edited it, so yeah, we had that touchdown. So then it was 7-7 at that point. And then that's how it was. So it's 14-7 at recess right now. Hold tight. We'll be right back after the break for more highlights in the second quarter. Hang tight.
Well, what an exciting time it's been. And you see the time is still clicking down, 5 minutes and change to go.
Let's go back to Nick James with more halftime show. Hey, Nick.
Thank you, Paul and Brendan. Yeah, it was a great first half, 14-7 at recess. The game could easily be 7-7 here at halftime. Let's take a quick look at the stats here, take a gander. And this is what it looks like right here. A couple first downs, yeah, for the Dons, but 14-7. They have the lead, but getting out pretty much dueled on the board. If you look at first downs, Modern Day with the lead right there, 8-2, and then total yards, 183 to 101, 82-yard advantage there, 7 penalties to 6 penalties on that. So 14-7 here. Dons have a 7-point lead down at Modern Day, down in Chula Vista, and we're going to toss it out to Allison and Bert to see what's going on and some things maybe we might be able to see here in the second half. Allison, Bert, what you got going on down there?
Hey, Nick. Yeah, you know, we're still kind of watching Trey Edwards over here kind of get taped up with his sprained ankle, hoping it's nothing more than a few-week injury, or we'll see what happens. But I have Bert Grossman here to talk about an ankle injury like this. What normally is the scenario for something like this?
It depends on your level. I mean, we're all talking like these are NFL players, and you're making $5 million a year, and you go up and you get shot up and you get taped up. But for a high school kid, this is insane for me. To even questioning this, thinking about this kid has a long career ahead of him. It's one game. It's one half. It's you know, he'll wake up tomorrow. He has 5 days for the next game. He'll be done. It's insane. I mean, if you watch Friday Night Lights, that's what happened to Boogie Miles. I mean, it's not. This is a game against a wing T that runs angles. This is just insane to me that this is even thought about right now.
So it does it kind of seem like he's stretching out, going to try to get back in this game?
It does, and of course he's a competitor, and I've known Trey since he was in second grade, and he's always been that way. But this is when, you know, we don't let 17-year-olds make decisions on their futures, and this is part of when an adult needs to step in and say, no, you're not playing. You can play next week if it's not that bad, but you don't play in the second half against this. It's insane.
In a game also that's still like fairly close, and Mater Dei's doing an okay job right now without him in, yeah?
Yeah, and really the problem Mater Dei's having right now is with their offense, not with their defense. Trey's going to go out there and score any touchdowns at tailback. I mean, a middle linebacker is not the problem they're having right now. So, again, I don't get it, but...
All right, well, thank you. We'll see what happens, and of course, we'll continue to keep you guys posted. We're going to toss things over to Bo Furtig, who will have a little more insight on the Mater Dei situation. Bo?
We decided we didn't want to hear from Bo anymore, so we're just going to talk to us. You've been talking too much. No, I'm just kidding. But we got to get things going here. And one thing we want to set up for you guys, get your phones out. This is really important. This is our QR code to give you everything within the PPR universe, especially because we just put it up now. Your player of the game, that poll just was put up on that code. You can vote for Marcus Ratcliffe or Jackson Holloway of Cathedral, Dom Nankill or Anthony McMillan of Mater Dei. Can't wait to find who that player is.
Mater Dei High School as the two teams. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello. No, that's not demands. As the two teams are coming back onto the field, just a quick shout out to all the men and women who have made this broadcast. They've been out there. They've been at Mater Dei since 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
In the hot
Fred
sun.
Swift, our chief engineer, Vince Douglas in charge of production, our camera guys, Tim Gaughan, Mark Chapman, Joaquin Duncan,
Ray Williams,
and
Mark Henzerite, whatever it is.
He came in all the way from
He's
LA.
from LA, won't see it.
He came in all the way, and then
Dan
of course
Brunning's
Bowen.
been working hard.
So just a big thank you, man. We have it easy. We're in air conditioning, and food keeps coming our way.
Life is relaxed here, but
those guys have been pelling hard, and I just want them to know how much we appreciate them. Hey, here's some numbers from the first half. The new kid behind center for Cathedral, Mr. Stevens, Jack Stevens, 62 yards passing with 1 score. He's been, I would say his performance has been not shaky, but you can tell he's in new surroundings, and it's going to take a little while for him to settle in.
And we don't know what kind of offense he was in before.
Exactly. We don't know a lot about him. We'll know. Let's reserve judgment on Mr. Stevens until week 5 when we see him get a few more reps under his belt. Marcus Ratcliffe for 38 yards receiving, and of course the score. Dominic Nankill is, I would say, the offensive player of the game so far. He's had 108 yards passing.
It's interesting you mentioned that as we pause you for just 1 second so we can talk about this. If you missed the QR code, don't worry. You can go ahead and scan that if we have a chance to get that up. You can vote. There you go. You can go ahead and use that scan to vote for the person you think is the player of the game thus far.
And we had to put up 4 names, and those were the 4 names we thought.
Yes.
Who knows? Second half, it
could change.
Yeah, it could change.
But just
play along with us. We want to see how many people out there are watching and get your take on whether or not we're picking the right players.
Sorry to interrupt you.
But if I go back to Nankill, 108 yards. He's been very mobile. He's been the straw stirring the drink, if you will. Does have the INT on the errant throw. Anthony McMillan has been the stud on the ground so far. 59 total yards, 1 rushing touchdown. So far, this game has lived up to expectations, and then all the players we were talking about, including that young man right there, is Mr. Dominic Nankill. They have been playing at the level that advertised. All these kids are getting all these D1 offers. Well, you know what? Sometimes you think, okay, a school goes and they see one kid and then they just get infatuated with other kids. Looking at modern day, each one of these kids, on their own merit, has received the attention they are, and it's one of those Haley's Comets that all these kids are playing at the same high school, and we might not ever see this again.
And the thing that Nankiv's done today, I think, you talk about all these players that have all these offers, Nankiv's been the one that's been sitting behind waiting to get it, but tonight he's shown why. Remember, this is a kid that threw for more than 3,000 yards last year, 38 touchdowns, only 4 picks in his junior year, and a lot of people thought he should have been on that silver pigskin podium because of that performance.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
My inbox was full because of this, and so was yours, probably double time. But he's showing that he's advanced and showing why he put them in that position. I want to see some more from Isaiah Buxton, who's been quiet tonight. That might be the best guy in the 24. Yes.
This just in.
This just in.
Trey Edwards has his helmet on, his chin strap adjusted. It looks like Trey
something. Trey all day, as they say. Let's see if we can see Trey like, now as we're moving around here. Man's getting himself worked on.
And if I'm Cathedral, I sure like looking at the modern-day defense without Trey Edwards.
Yeah, it was beautiful for that one play. May not be so beautiful now, but we see him down there at the bottom of your screen and zooming in. You see him getting warmed up, looking loose. Seems to have I couldn't tell if he even has a brace on there on that knee, any tape. But he seems to be working well. And again, when it comes to Trey Edwards, so many schools across the country. He wouldn't have his hat on if he wasn't going to play. So Texas A&M offer, USC offer, UCLA the place for now.
Yes.
We'll see if the NIL has something to say about that. You see that big. Hey, you know what? He's a member of the Big Ten now, so we can't.
And that's the not to digress because I want to enjoy the high school football game, but that's such a wild card now, and it's really it's going to change the face of not only college athletics, but it's changing the face of high school athletics. And I don't have I don't look at it through rose-colored glasses. I know that high school sports has been changing under our nose and it's not the same game it was 24 years ago. It's not the same environment. But boy, this name, image, and likeness deal is going to speed up the change, and I don't know that I'm going to like the changes.
Well, the change also makes the kind of game that we're seeing right now, though, so we have to remember that. Let's also remind people who are just tuning in on to this stream or watching this now, a lot of you may just be watching this out of county, out of state, should be reminded that you can come here every Friday night and watch the Prep Pigskin Report, that we show games from all across the county here with a lot of great kids just like this game. I think if we can get this through before we get started, we can talk about our game of the week from Friday if we're able to get those highlights up of Helix and Mira Mesa. Put that just past 77 there for anyone in the back who needs to see that. But this is just part of what we do on a Friday night. We don't do it live, but every night starting at 10:45 all the way to midnight, we're showing highlights from across the countryside.
We don't do it live until tonight.
Yes.
I mean, that might be changing.
That might change now.
This is going better than anyone expected. So we might have had our last Saturday off for a while.
Weekends, never heard of her.
But I digress. We saw Coach Verlaine Batofi right there with the backpack on, and he's one of the. Why he's not a head coach somewhere in this county is beyond me.
You never know why
unless he is so happy at Modern Day. But man, if I'm a coach, high school program looking for a coach who might could turn things around like that, I'd be all over that guy.
Well, he's part of a very strong system that's brought success to Kearney and brought success to Madison and brought success along with their head coaches and other people in charge of the systems. I don't want anyone at home who's saying, hey, we did it ourselves. As we get action going, so we should shut up and watch said action. How's that sound? And it starts with Cruz Estrada trying to break free, but gets dragged down.
I thought he had a foot in the end zone.
Nice play there. And sometimes it doesn't matter, sir. Okay. Gets dragged down by Lewis Case, the backup running back there, as we are back into play. Third quarter now, Cathedral up 14-7 with Modern Day with the ball. They did defer to start the
They won the coin toss and deferred for just this reason, to have the ball set the tone in the second half. 1st and 10 on their own 18-yard line.
Who do you think has to execute for Modern Day here in the second half on offense for them to be able to win this game?
If I'm Modern Day, I go back to what they do is they like to stretch it wide with those multiple screen looks that they have, and then when you're playing the game on a horizontal plane, then they throw the ball downfield. I think they have to go back there. I think they cannot be shy about challenging the Cathedral secondary.
6 pass sixth catch of the day for Jerry McClure there, going straight back to him right down the middle, not being afraid of the threat at all. You see some of the shifting there because McClure moved to the left of the formation. You saw Cathedral shifting some folks the other way. They know where their money is made. As we get up here,
the sun goes down, and you know who we neglected to mention? Joaquin Duncan, our photographer, who's running the high 50 camera.
Nice catch.
I mean, he's one of the best shooters, not in San Diego, not in California, but in the nation. And he's running that up top camera. Joaquin,
and doing it really.
You've been with the PPR and KUSI for a long time, and man, your skills are coming in real handy right now.
Very handy.
As we're looking, if we can get the scoreboard back up in the studio, guys, we sure would appreciate it. As we're second and third
now on the 36-yard line. And going back inside, and McMillan gets a big break inside with some great blocking. He's going to surge out for about 10 there and set up a first down. As the lights begin to fall, you can see the midnight hour is at hand. We'll see exactly what they can do.
How does that change the game for the team that has the most two-way players? I'm not even sure who that would be. I know Cathedral has a couple guys going both ways. With the sun going down, does that leave a little more gas in their tank?
I think it actually energizes the lines. This is what they're waiting for, because now it's cooler and they're going to get some chances to maybe relax a little bit more, because it's got to be a lot of heat in there, especially when you're thinking with Cathedral having the ball. Nice play action here from Manco. Goes to Estrada across the 50-yard line.
There is your standard RPO with the quarterback making another good decision.
Estrada finally getting in the game here.
Reading the linebacker there, and if he comes up, the ball goes out over the top.
It was a bit of a wide open spot there. Church, I think, ended up having to cover more than one guy. And Church is exceptional, but even he can't necessarily pull all of that off. High 13, didn't need you to stare at me in the face, but that's cool. We'll keep it moving. First down here on the 44. They fake it again inside, and now they're going to George. Another one there. George didn't get any touches here in the first quarter. Only got started here late in the first half, but now they can't stop going to him. And you can see the effects of the coverage here as they rotate these guys. We were talking earlier with Modern Day. They said the big thing is they rotate these receivers, not just rotating them in and out of the formation, but also rotating where they line up, slot versus outside. And that's changing who's getting the ball as we move here through the first, second, and now third quarter. We'll see what happens here as Nan gets the ball again, hands it off inside, but it is thick in there, and they take him down for only a short gain.
This up-tempo look that Modern Day has perfected, a lot of people try it.
Morris
has really limits what Cathedral can do defensively. They kind of get into this base look, and they don't
stop.
But they don't make a lot of changes. They're just playing in this base look to see what. They're on their heels. They're truly playing defense. They're not coming with any blitzes or anything like that. And I think that works to Modern Day's advantage.
And you remember the term West Coast offense used to throw around back in the day?
Sure.
In terms of go and get that ball out so quickly with the timed routes. I think you're seeing a bit of an evolution here in the Modern Day offense. Even though it looks so big and wide, it's really just a West Coast offense, but he's in the shotgun instead. Inside to Snyder, the backup running back gets a big old push there from Victory. Takes what would have been a 5-yard gain and makes it a single-yard gain as we're looking at 3rd and 1 now.
31 from 35 with 8:42 on the clock.
No gain on the play.
And this will be an interesting situation as we go to 4th down,
I would say this is 4-down territory pretty easily.
And they put in McMillan for a reason, probably. Yeah. But I would suggest, even though you think this would be a big boy time, they're still not moving from 4 wide receivers whatsoever.
But I think here comes the play action look.
They're settling around trying to sell. Look at Trey Edwards back in the game now, playing the fullback here.
Now we know where they're going. Now we
you see the big push, ball over the head, fumble down on the ground, and he's moving and grooving with it. Madden putting it in their deep territory. Stopped by McMillan, one mistake, and you see the man of the hour, Madden Farimo, picking it up and making something happen. Let's take a look at the replay. We were looking at Edwards, but we should have been looking somewhere else.
You know what? It might have been slightly high, but that's on Dom. It hit him in the hands.
You can't have it that way. You cannot have it that way at all.
McMillan saving the touchdown there, but boy, the air in the Modern Day balloon, this one you can hear hissing a little bit.
Wow, and the team of Solomon and Faremo getting the job done, stepping right on the ball. And what were we talking about before this game started? What can these backers do? And you see the outside pair there. Those are the 2 outside linebackers. paying attention. Run back inside here as they got the ball back going to Sean Kagan.
Bronco Nagurski there, 4 yards in a cloud of dust. But boy, I mean, it's just a dichotomy of two different attacks. Modern day, when they have the ball, they're spread sideline to sideline with almost 3 yards between splits. Now watch Cathedral come to the line of scrimmage. It's like the old Four Horsemen look with. Have you seen tighter splits than that? As far as,
nope, they love to run that.
Oh, we have a player cramping up right now in the official timeout.
We certainly do.
All right,
we'll be right back. Right now, this is a game above, 14-7, Cathedral with the lead, and they just got an eventful turnover as the ball snapped over the head.
Not really. I say it hit him in the hands. But Lapisi was the one who cramped up there and forcing the official timeout. He's still on the field, though. So
I think this would be a good time, if we can, and look at some of the scores around the county. Because there's more action than this tonight, folks. We're talking about that referee shortage, how it's changing the way the world looks.
There are a bunch of games being played, yeah.
And there are a lot of games playing big tonight. Even this is the one that you're mainly seeing. Obviously, this one 14-7, but we also are keeping our eyes up north. Mission Hills, ranked number 8 in the county right now, and a really good squad, really quiet squad, and one that made the Open Division last year. Right now, they have the 13-7 lead over Chaparral.
Wow! So, keep an eye on that.
Keeping all of my eyes tight on that, too.
Coach Hauser, another program. They're just always hard-nosed, quality football program.
And that's the way it should always be. As we're back in action now, and big run to Bond, who sees a break, goes behind that big offensive line, and makes it worth his while, chugging all the way to the 15-yard line, and that's what Cathedral does. Chew up clock, chew up space,
and now
speak without regret.
They're kind of inflicting their will right now as they are.
As one does.
Yes. They're kind of leaning on Modern Day. It's going to be up to Modern Day to lean back.
And big credit to this Cathedral line. Bjork, Lopez, Walker, Sullivan, Peterson. We'll see what they can do, especially with the offset. Running inside. Nice lead block there from Bond. As we see the carry for Kagan here.
You know, the splits are like Newt Rockney's era. But what else is impressive is look how deep their running backs are. Their running backs are only 3 yards deep compared to Modern Day, where Dom is seven yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's really an interesting, seeing two programs that have two different ways of playing this game, and it just shows you how fascinating this sport really is, because there's more than one way to skin an apple.
It is true. Also, Chaparral's up 14-13 now. Also, big respect to Kyle Phillips, San Marcos grad, who just had a nice return for Tennessee Titans. In the meantime, big run inside by Ethan Ford, trying to stretch towards the end zone, and they're bottling him up. Can they stop him? They do, right around the 2-yard line. But this is where Cathedral comes to play, where the big boys play.
You know what? They've foregone the forward pass right now.
They have. Look at those nice blocks inside. I saw also Maxwell Bales, who didn't have to make a big block. He did an extra pushing there as well.
This is coming out of
the side by Sam Bjork and Kerry Cordes, or Taylor Diaz here. Here we go, handoff now, swing inside to Bond. Will Bond gets shaken up, but he is not stirred because he's going inside for the Cathedral touchdown. Cathedral, the running team, almost ready to run away with it.
This is indicative of a good coaching staff because this drive, Brandon, is coming out of a halftime break, halftime intermission, and it's all about adjustments. They saw something because when they came out, they tightened up the splits, they tightened up the formation, and they ran the ball 7 consecutive times.
Yes.
7 consecutive times there, and now have trying to build a 14-point lead, and. Mater Dei has the kind of offense that can make up that deficit, but they're going to have to show something coming off this extra point attempt.
Which is good. And credit to Janikowski, their great pull along with the rest of that line, and that's what opened up the space for Bond to get in the end zone. Cathedral imposing their will in the early going here in the third quarter. They whittled down the ball. They whittled down the play clock as much as they could. 14-point game, and that means a team ready to air raid it out must have something ready if they plan to keep this thing moving. We'll have to see who gets the ball here. It doesn't mean they're going to stop running the ball, by the way. I would argue the most effective attack has been running the ball with Snyder and McMillan.
If I'm Mater Dei, I'm confident. They've shown they can move the ball. They basically 2 plays. They've made 2 mistakes where they've shot themselves in the foot. Otherwise, their offense has shown that they can play with Cathedral all night long. All right.
We'll see what they can do now as the ball's kicked out of bounds.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
For a touchback, ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line.
Welcome back, everybody. Good football here. Cathedral in the lead, but it doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Right now it's 21-7. Cathedral in the lead, 5:10 and counting to go in the third quarter.
While we're in the break there, Jalen Hall made a very nice catch to ensure the Mater Dei first down.
He sure did. And now we'll see if they can get another one here. Nankill, good space. Janikowski looking.
He's
going off and decides to step out of bounds and into our camera frame. Good pickup, Trey. Oh, nice little sportsmanship, too.
You know, when we have a conversation about the best quarterbacks in the county, if you don't include Dominic Nankill in that conversation,
you can stop talking.
Yeah, you've proven that you don't know enough about San Diego football. Because, you know, if he weren't playing on this team of stars, we'd be talking about him ad nauseum, you know?
And we still did. Second and 1 now. Big shove up here for Snyder, who gets the ball and slinks on through. Nice slap down tackle there by Johnson, but that's still a first down for Mater Dei, as that's going to be a gain of 7 for him. And you see that offense, it's supposed to be quick, and you can see it being quick already.
At midfield.
3 wide now as they're staring at the Crusader logo. Shift again, inside to Snyder. Big move out to the left side, goes to shift more, gets a good push. You can see both sides of the line giving them all they got. And there's going to get about 4 more here, setting up second down.
Did a flag just come in?
Cathedral 47-yard line.
Hard to tell.
Did I see a flag come in?
I don't say I don't believe.
6 yards.
No, I think we're okay. But, Madden's slow to get up here. But he's still making his way. I think he's going to be okay. There is a flag.
We do have a flag on. on the pitch, if you will. What captains will they be talking to?
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 6 on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Well,
second down.
Jalen Hall gets tagged with a personal foul there. Couldn't see what he did after that play. But both sides have been getting, when you're in a modern-day situation and it's getting frustrating, you understand those personal fouls tack up. But that's what you can't have. I was listening to Michael Hobbs, the coach of El Camino. We talked about that. He said the only team that can really beat you is yourself, and that's an example of why. So we see what happens on 2nd and 19. Pressure now. He throws real deep, looking down the seam. Can't find the man he wants right there, trying to get the ball to McClure. Nice coverage by Jack Church on the play.
Bo Fertag, are you in earshot?
Yes, I am. The referee was unable to get out of his back pedal, just looking at the ball, got in McClure's way. McClure's really been the only threat on the outside, other than them running the RPOs up the seams. That's really all they've had. Cathedral is only rushing 4 because that's all they have to do. They're simply dropping everyone back and making Modern Day work their way down the field. Right now they're in a spread formation. Cathedral still has 2 safeties over the top. They're running man-to-man. This is a moment where Nankill could get some yards, and here he goes. Yeah, it's a great job. They're running a QB spy on Nankill, but Nankill, when he's one-on-one with a linebacker, is simply way too fast. So that's going to be something that they're going to have to look forward to as well, maybe clearing everyone out, and Nankill just going one-on-one with just the speed advantage. 4 minutes left. Like you guys said earlier, Cathedral just weighing and laying on that defensive line of Modern Day. They just looked gassed right out of the second half. Cathedral is just simply too big right now. And once again, they're just going to continue to rush 4. They're still getting pressure, and nothing's open right now. They're just running a cover 2. Yeah, Nankill, unfortunately, he's just having to do too much right now. Cathedral's defense really has them on lock.
Blocking back on that play. And he was pointing out the QB spy situation as we wait here. The QB spy was working well. It's Ferramo taking care of that job.
Right.
Offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
This is why you are a premium analyst, sir.
I don't know. When do the hors d'oeuvres get here?
Oh, my goodness.
356, 14-point game right now.
My Jersey Mike sandwich was delectable, sir.
All right.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. The red vinaigrette option on that.
I know.
Just say.
Thank you, Jersey Mike's, for being
you.
Kathy Brown, boy, you've taken care of us here at the PPR in such a big way. All right, we'll be right back.
We have seen before Modern Day try to do that wide receiver pass. The problem is they haven't tried to do it against Cathedral, and you can see the result there. Also looks like Mr. George was shaken up. Anyhow, 3:45 to go here in the third quarter. Cathedral Catholic in some control, but Modern Day definitely getting some step up. By the way, this just in from the sidelines.
After the play, dead ball. Personal foul, late hit, offense. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Interesting situation there. Yes?
Modern Day losing their composure a little bit, and you have even worse news for the team.
Even worse news. Trey Edwards, after trying to get back into this ball game, he won't be trying anymore. Ruled out for the rest of this one. Modern Day losing the centerpiece of their defense, the man wanted by schools across this countryside, wanted by the Big Ten, SEC, and Pac-12. Will not be finishing this one, and we'll find out how much longer he may be out along with it. But Modern Day has to get back on offense to do something to stem the tide. Can they do it here with the deep ball? Tried to grab by McClure, but incredible coverage there from Anthony Taylor. Haven't said much of his name today, but he makes it happen
But
here.
he's been around the ball.
Taylor, the backup corner here for Cathedral. And that's the talent you get. By the way, while we're waiting for the next play, we've had a lot of great players right now getting their first taste of the preseason in the NFL. A quick shout out to Chris Olave, Mission Hills grad,
Touchdown
Ohio
catch
State
yesterday.
star. Gets the touchdown, 2 receptions for 28 yards.
And you were mentioning Kyle Phillips?
And yes, sir, he had a catch today in their game against Tampa Bay, in which Tom Brady is still nowhere to be found.
Did you see that drill that he was doing with the
Yes.
the footwork that young man displays?
He's had it since he was a sophomore at San Marcos. The first time we ever got him on the team.
Right. I don't know how many penalties this is for Modern Day, but they are starting they're making too many mental mistakes right now.
Also, former USD receiver Ross Swelly with 3 catches for the 49ers today. Good
All right,
line.
so in case you're scoring, what do you run for 3rd and 42? What play do you have designed for that?
He's not going to use it because he's on the run, and we'll get a few. Certainly not enough. Slides held up by Kagan there, and he'll have to punt as Nankill comes off the field. That just shows what happens when A, you lose the composure, and B, they're smart with their quarterback spy. And this was a drive that had a lot of promise, but does not finish.
Mistakes.
It cannot finish in that way.
All right, you're looking at the clock tick down as we head towards the end of the 3rd quarter. Cathedral will get the ball, and I'm going to bet. I'll wager you a soda pop that the first play will be a handoff to Will Bond.
I think you may have that right, sir.
And he'll be 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage when he gets the ball.
We'll see if McClure can calm this team down by getting a nice clean punt off. Some pressure, but still gets it off cleanly. Fielded here by Bond, almost tripped up, breaks out to the right side, gets a few more yards, eventually taken down by DJ Overstreet.
How many fullbacks return kicks in the country, do you think?
Not much. I haven't seen that kind of thing happen around here since Danny Woodhead and Devin Hester, sir.
Yeah, I mean...
if I'm allowed to invoke those names.
He's not your classic body type for a fullback, but he sure runs hard, and I guess that's what I'll tell you what.
Let's see if your wager comes true.
Yeah,
by the way, that man really knows how to coach. I want to just add that. It does not come true. Instead, it's a pass this time to Lucero, their number 2 receiver. I believe that's his 2nd catch.
I bet you they wish they had listened to me, though.
Probably.
All right, this is one of those drives where you can basically ice the ball game. If you can sustain something,
you can, even if you don't score, you can put them in a position where they've got to work a lot harder to get back in the game.
Now they're doing...
and you can see, look at the work here by Sean Doyle. Don't just say he's the manager. He's changing the plays now, shifts everybody over in that traditional stance that Cathedral likes and moves that lineman over. It's smart. They know what they're doing as they get the 2 linemen over heavy. And it works, as you see the breakout here, a classic 4 to 5 yard gain. That's perfectly how Cathedral rides it up. Show one look, change the look, but do the same thing you always do. You would think after all these decades, it would fool a team. It wouldn't fool teams anymore, but it does, and that's what makes it work so well.
All that movement is designed, folks, is just to put a hint of second guessing in the minds of the defenders. If they can just for a second be not sure what's coming their way, that's all they're trying to do is throw the defense off balance. It's the same play that they ran before, but with a little window dressing added on, and it's all designed to make the defense hesitate. A half beat, and a half beat can be the difference between 5 yards, 8 yards, 17 yards.
And many, many more. 3rd and 5 now. We'll see what they can do with it. Motion here from Lucero going to the right side. Fake the handoff. There's pressure from Estrada. Trips him up, but not enough. Still pressure from Vincent Friend. Goes
Short
out and finds
down.
Bond just 2 yards short. And I would not be against going for it here and keeping this clock moving the way they've been running the ball.
Big decision for Sean Doyle. It looks like they are going to go for it.
Also want to remind folks right now, once we get the flow code up here, you can go online and vote for your player of the game. 4 great choices for you once we get a chance to get that up. You can vote for Marcus Ratcliffe, the safety wide receiver from Cathedral. You can vote for Jackson Holloway, who had the interception that helped Cathedral keep this modern-day offense at bay. Dom Nankill, the quarterback, who's been impressive. As you can see them setting up to go for a 4th down, as we said. You can also vote for Anthony McMillan. We'll get that back up for you soon enough. We can also put that one up on our website as I yell to the social media staff on my desk. Jack Stevens trying to look for something, and boy, howdy, does he get nothing. Yerani Rubio leading the way along with Buxton and the rest of the defense. They attempt what we thought they may attempt, and the attempt does not work. Take a look as they shove straight through the middle. Big pressure, too, along the way by Monjarez, who was great and really effective early in the first half of this ball game, and that gives Mater Dei some life.
Yes, big stop. I'll tell you what, there was somebody, they didn't have enough hats to account for everybody on that side of the line of scrimmage.
They said they should have listened to you, and they should not have listened to me. I was very wrong. I forgot life's not me playing NCAA 14.
Yes, there are.
Boy, I wish it was.
There are actually repercussions.
There are repercussions for my decisions.
So here we go. That was the crack in the door that Mater Dei needs. Let's see if they can turn it into something as their 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line of Cathedral, and they're going to air it out. Dom under.
Trying to, big block under pressure by Johnson. Dump cannot be reeled in there down the sideline by McClure.
Nankill wants that one back.
Truly. It was a nice attempt, though, but that was tough. He was under a lot of pressure to try and get that out. The seniors on this Cathedral defense are doing exactly what they need to do.
As they'll line up, look to the sideline, everybody will look at their wristband to see, okay, what play we're going to go.
I don't want to know what he said.
Everybody wears a watch on their left wrist. All right, 2nd and 10.
Not interested. Some play changes here. Nickel trying to find something. And he's under pressure again. Johnson and Janikowski have been on him all night long, taking advantage of that modern-day offensive line, still learning how to work together.
They have to do something to negate the fact that their offensive line is getting pushed back a little bit. Where's the screenplay right now, or where's the
screenplay was really being used effectively in the first half. They seem to have gone away from it. I'm not sure why.
They have to do something, or maybe run the ball, just to because right now the Cathedral pass rush, their ears are pinned back, and they're almost anticipating the snap count.
Certainly are.
As we look at a 3rd and 10, and we have a timeout. Cathedral's asking for a timeout. Are we going to take a timeout?
Cathedral.
Okay, we'll stay with it.
We will not be taking a timeout, in fact.
Let's look at Madison Otay. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yes, we'd love to take a look and show you some of the games that have been
last
across
night
the
on
league.
the PPR.
And this is, if we're talking about some of the great games we've had this year, Otay Ranch is a good squad, starting out with the new coach in Brad Burton. And you can see they were effective really early and were really in this game into the first half. But Madison showing why people think they're an open division team in this game, thanks to folks like Beryl Rankin. Nice run here. He's actually a linebacker by trade, and as Nick James would call, a straight dog. But you see him with a big run there. And that's just the kind of game it was. Take a look here. Reggie Johnson, an up-and-comer, getting it to Jake Jackson, one of the most dynamic receivers in the state.
Who will be making his college decision whenever that happens right here on KUSI.
And I would also add, when you say college decision, this was the play of the game.
Decision.
It was a sport decision because it could be baseball and it could be football. Yeah. That was the play of the game, by the way, that hit. That's what changed the tide and got Madison the lead. As we go back to Mater Dei here. And that's just some of the action that you could see, by the way, if you watch the PPR every Friday night here on KUSI. Nankill back to pass on 3rd down. See some spots up the middle, going deep. Does he have someone? Ball bobbled. Buncombe keeps his hands on it.
What a play. Buncombe with a He just wanted it more.
Just like his brother used to do. In fact, he makes it even better. Keep him rolling. Rock Chalk Jayhawk for the Kansas commit. Paul, what do you see on the catch?
I'll tell you what. It was a toss-up. Jump ball. Who wants it most? Freeze it right there.
Look at that pull. That's impressive.
Big play.
And exactly what they need to reinvigorate. You can hear the crowd now. They're back into it. 1st and 10 here on the 18. Time clicking down. It's the 3rd, not the 4th. No worries. Handoff inside. Chris Boom Snyder gets tripped up there. Gets a couple, but as you can see, he would have had more if not for Kagan there, the inside linebacker, making good use of it.
You know, you got to sprinkle. You can't just throw the ball every time. You have to sprinkle that in, if for no other reason than to make the defensive pass rush play honestly.
2nd and 7 now. Snyder still in the back here, but he's not looking there. He's looking right instead. Looks right at Ty Cortez, who knows he should have had it, but could not come up with it.
Oh, yeah, that young man will see that in his sleep.
Not the thing you want to be thinking about.
Ty.
But back to that last play by Kagan when he made the stop. Unexpected today based off the information that we were given. Kagan doing a great job on offense and defense today. A two-way start we were not expecting, but it's 3rd and 7 now. Getting some counsel from the sidelines.
3rd and 7 here.
Look to your right. Look at Bunkum. Look at McCuller. They're both playing on the right side. We'll see what formation they get into or if it's not even to be had. Ball inside. Go into Snyder.
Smart
Big
call.
boom.
Ball carrier number 2, Chris
Broke
Snyder.
down, but not soon enough.
Is that a first down?
That
Very
looks
close.
like a first down from Boom Snyder. He's pointing at it, and we believe him. First down is nice. End of the quarter, but not the end of Modern Day's chances. Down 14, but threatening in the blue and gold
All right,
zone.
while they walk to the other end of the field, we'll take a quick timeout.
A sub above.
All right, welcome back. Everybody, jump around. Jump around. 4 fingers in the air.
Is that Wisconsin? Is that Wisconsin does? Okay.
Of course.
Yes.
The Ivy League of the Midwest.
But you know what? Listening to us must be a house of pain. But the game's still good.
According to the scoreboard right now, it's 4th and 1. So
interesting turn of events.
So this is one
the
of your
play of the game thus far.
You know what, Brendan? I'm going to stand up for this one. This is a big play. This is a big play. Now, does Modern Day even have a short yardage package? Like,
yes.
do they have 3 tight end set, or will they just do?
Do they have 3 tight ends?
I mean, my guess is they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna spread it out and make you defend space, and they're gonna find a.
We just got word the demise of Trey was early.
Well, that would lead me to believe that they're going to run the ball to the right side behind number 3.
And I will say, Trey Edwards was quite the running back early in his Modern Day career and in
watch the hole he makes.
Instead, they give it to Boom Snyder. Here comes the boom down from the south. Touchdown! Modern Day Catholic back in the ball game.
I think that they did exactly what I think they said they were going to. Trey kicked out on the defensive end or outside linebacker, and that hole, Brandon, I honestly think I might have been able to score on that play.
You might have. Look at the extra push there. Screens out a quality man there. That's a big time when you're able to screen out Solomon, and that opened the door to make it a party down south, starring Chris Boom Snyder.
You know, for the people who dismiss Mater Dei as, oh, they're a great 7-on-7 team, but they are not going to be able to match up with this much bigger and tougher school, I have one word for you: poppycock. And we have an injured Cathedral down. Let's see who that is. If we can get a number, can we zoom in on that?
Didn't quite catch
but
that.
they have every bit the grit that Cathedral does. And for those of you who thought Cathedral were just a hammer and tong team that would not be able to match Mater Dei's finesse and speed, I have one word for you.
We've seen it in all different forms of the
poppycock.
game.
Yeah, both these teams can. They're both better than than some critics gave them credit for.
Let's keep talking about some of these teams that we think could be open division contenders. We obviously in Cathedral and Mater Dei doing what they do so well right now. Carlsbad had a bye to start the football season.
I believe we're gonna know more about Carlsbad next week.
We sure are, because it looks as if our game of the week next week for next Friday's PPR will be Carlsbad at this very same venue.
Right.
As they take on Mater Dei. You can be certain that Coach McNeil and the boys, Julian and the boys, are either there or watching this broadcast, one of the two.
There's the boom.
Here comes the boom. And also a very big victory for Lincoln, but they were not playing here. They were playing on the road this week with a 56-0 victory.
We should mention at the Hive, talk of that's going to be a Saturday game, Mater Dei at Lincoln. And again,
I can already see
that will be more of a game where the teams mirror one another, where they're both like to spread it out. They're both really fast. They both have a lot of talented athletes. And, man, I just want to see Roderick Robinson with the ball and Trey Edwards encountering.
Knock them, and
I want to know which way the pile moves when those two trains lock horns. You know?
When the Bulls lock horns, it could be fascinating. Yeah. Also, one thing to point out about Lincoln's victory last night when they were playing Capital Christian, they were playing them up north. It was a 56-0 victory. And the big thing about that is that team's ranked number 3 in Sacramento, so it's kind of a big deal.
Well, these teams are ranked 10 and 11 respectively in the state. Those numbers are low.
Yes.
They're both top 10 teams.
As a great poet once said, from Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area and back down, San Diego is where they put their map down.
Yes. Well,
there's Mr. Shakur.
Well done. Okay, Tupac. All right. 11:56 to go right now. It is a 7-point game. Now I would say the pressure's back on Cathedral to make something happen offensively as they struggle to find.
Nice rollout by Jack Stevens, showing the leg here.
And a first down.
The golden nugget making it happen for 12 yards. And pressure on Jack, they had an interesting QB situation walking into the year where they had guys who were established and he had to come in and break up that establishment, and you're seeing exactly why he's able to do it with a nice rollover on the left side of the formation. Also, I just want to point out, I referenced St. Elmo's Fire and Tupac today. I got to make some life changes.
Talon Beltran right there came up, was hopping on his leg. I don't know if this is an injury time or not, but that was number 54, Talon Beltran, that was hopping on one leg. Let's take a break. Welcome back. Some numbers for you. Dominic Nankill, 180 yards passing, 44 yards rushing. He certainly will be in contention for player of the game, depending on the outcome. Right now, let's hear from our reporters. Allison Edmonds standing by with Bert Grossman. Allison, can you hear us?
Hey guys, yeah, I can hear you. How's it going? I just walked over to get some water real quick, so I'm walking back over to Bert right now. You guys can hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Tell us what you're experiencing, Al. What's going on that sideline, my dear?
What is the crowd like?
Perfect. Yeah, guys, you know, the crowd has gotten a little more excited. The Mater Dei crowd, Mater Dei sideline had kind of quieted down. We kind of were staying over here on the home side. But ever since that last touchdown, things have really, the energy's really shifted. It's gotten really exciting, other than, of course, the injury right now that's on the field. But other than that, the energy's been pretty good around here. Lots of fun to watch. And, Bert, do you agree? Energy's pretty exciting, yeah?
It got back up a little bit after that. I think Sean Doyle did him a little favor going for it on 4th down and 2. That really got the crowd back in, and maybe Mater Dei, but I guess that remains to be seen.
Hey, Allison?
Absolutely. And, guys, something that yes.
Can you ask Bert if he wants to change his opinion that Mater Dei is a 7-on-7 team?
Do you want to change your opinion that Mater Dei is a 7-on-7 team?
No, I still believe it. They're still losing this game, and then somebody at 4th and 2. Look, I haven't seen Cathedral look this bad since they were uni, so I'm not going to, right now, you know, you could be a welterweight fighter, but when you go up to heavyweight, it's a different story. And right now, I'm not seeing anything change it.
Well, there you go. I love the honesty, truly.
If there's one thing about Bert, it's honesty.
Yes. All right, Bo Furtag, are you there, buddy?
I'm here. You know, you mentioned that Dominic Nankill's stat, 44 rushing yards. Last season, he rushed for a total of 106 rushing yards. So just in 3 quarters of the first game, he's rushed half of what he did all last season, which just shows you the strength and ability of this Cathedral team. We mentioned their size up front. They're only rushing 4. They're dropping everyone back. Mater Dei did adjust to that and on that first drive when they were running that RPO and using those seam routes. But since then, Cathedral has stacked the box a little bit more. They adjusted, and it looks like 54 is coming off the field with help. It doesn't look good, and it's unfortunate because he's one of the Mater Dei's biggest players. So now they're without Trey Edwards. I don't see Lapizzi back in the game. He was a big cog. He was an impact player in that first half, and now 54 is off the field. So Mater Dei defense is right now dwindling right in front of our eyes, unfortunately. Their depth is definitely going to be tested right now for Mater Dei.
And that's interesting you point that out as they step up right there in the immediate.
What a great play there by number, was that 24 that came?
I couldn't tell if that was 55 Vasquez or if that, I'll take a look back here, as I was just looking down at the notes here. Oh, no, it was a great wraparound play. What danger, what great move inside.
Was that Rubio that made the play?
Oh, no. That was Rubio. Yes, that was Rubio.
All right, back
now
to
Stevens
pass.
Back to pass, looking for something. He may have Ratcliffe. We'll see if he does. He does, but was he in bounds is the question. Doesn't seem to be so. Now, interesting note with Mater Dei, that update there, you're losing 1 defensive end and 2 linebackers. That means they're down 3 of their front 7 from the way we started this game. And we'll see how that impacts. So it's interesting to note the first 2 plays since those injuries, a run that didn't work and a pass play deep. So you're not trying to provoke the middle section of that defense just
folks,
yet.
are you, this is a 3rd and 10 situation. Big down for Cathedral, who's trying to hang on to the 7-point lead.
Play action just inside, and it's picked off!
Picked off by number 27.
Lapizzi back in the game and making it happen.
Whoa!
That's a casual. He thought he had drawn him off with the play action, but he had not. Didn't even see him coming. He was actually trying to just dump off the ball quickly there, trying to get it to Max Bales, but instead never noticed Lapizzi, who clearly still hurt, but making it happen. Look, he gets the play.
He's 2nd time he's cramped up. As the weather is taking it.
Don't say this game doesn't matter to these players. Don't say they're sitting at home playing on the video game. That man was genuinely hurt, said, I'm getting back in this ball game, and makes a play to help his team get on the board.
He's hurt. I think he's just got a real bad case of the cramps right now.
That's what it looks like.
And for anybody who's ever played football or ever cramped up like that, you know how, 1, it happens over and over again, and 2, that it's painful.
quite. Now, we'll see what happens now. Nandkill and this modern-day offense with new life. We'll see what they can do in opponent territory on the 36, facing a 1st and 10. Snyder in the backfield. Nandkill doesn't need him. Blocking on the outside. Rush on the inside. Everybody meets in the middle. Big sack there. Preston Morris making his presence known. Luke Westfall also inside on that play. That's almost a coverage sack. Great work inside in the interior of that 3-4 defense.
Everybody stayed in their lane, and Dom just had no place to go as we look at 2nd and 14 with the ball on the 40-yard line.
Impressive job there, and those are two underclassmen making that happen, a junior and a sophomore, who are able to make their presence felt. 2nd and 14 now. Motion from Bunkum, fakes the handoff, screen play again. Great dump out to Jalen Hall. 2nd catch of the day for Mr. Hall as they keep it moving down the field. Ball now down the 36, I think.
Boy, the Don's corner there was we're giving him a lot of room, a lot of space there. Coach Patofi saw that.
Nobody wants to get beat deep around here. They're not going to let that happen.
3rd and 8 now, Brandon. Oh, and here comes the heat. And Dom saw it.
Look at the read there. Look at the read. Now, if you notice, he's looking back.
We're going to change the play. Does the defense still come?
We're keeping our eyes tracked on it
looks
for
like
sure.
They are. Looks like they're still
Looks
coming.
like Beals wanted to come inside, drops back off. Only a 3-man rush. Throws it short, makes it count. Back to Bunkum there.
4th and what? It's going to be 4th and a yard. 4th and 2 maybe. Bunkum cramping up. So it's going to be, it's a 4th down situation, 4th and 2.
So much of this is about what happens in the 4th quarter. Do you want it, and have you built yourself for it?
They're about 4th and 3, big play here.
We'll see if they have.
Trey Edwards back on the field.
An interesting motion there from Gonzalez. Not sure what he's, oh no, he just dropped something. He's trying to get a handle of it. Wasn't sure what he was trying to do.
Normally with Trey.
And look at Trey back in the game here, running that fullback. It's like you've said,
is that like it's kind of like an H-back.
It's essentially an H-back here.
Yeah. Are you going to run behind him?
No, they're not. Looking for extra blocking. Goes downfield. And it's picked off! What a pick by Faremo! Big batter there. Snyder does what he does to get him down, but what a game-breaking play by Madden Faremo. His sister so tough on the softball field, the brother so tough on the football field. An interception to change the way this game's going. What a great read, Paul.
Holy moly, holy moly. And turnovers, the story of this contest. Matter Day is making them, the Crusaders are making the mistakes, the Dons are taking advantage. Now, if they turn this into points, I think then we can start talking about.
Look up top. There's only one up there, and there's nobody in the backfield right now. They decide to do the quick jump street to Lucero. Gets a little room, gets 4.
Now, this is going to test Mater Day's will. Can they recover from that mistake? As the Cathedral Dons lose a lineman right there, number 66, hobbling off. Is he going to stay in the game? It looks like he's
a little bit more about Faremo. Is waiting for the next play. He's a sophomore, just a sophomore, folks. 6 offers so far for Faremo, including the likes of San Diego State, Cal, and Washington.
Nick Walker is going to stay in the game, number 66. I think he got stepped on, looked like, but he's going to stay in the ball game as we're looking at 2nd and 6 from the 42. Dons with the ball. Play action path. They were going to try to swing it out to the flat. They still are. Big contact along the sidelines.
Nice dish out to Lucero there.
A little extracurricular activity, but no flags. As now we're looking at about a 3rd and 3.
Lucero always reminds me of those Cathedral players that don't get a lot of discussion on the offensive side. We don't know their name. They're not the ones at the front of the stage. But he's a consistent player for this team.
Penalty, replay, 2nd down.
And the holding there on the young lineman.
Tony Lopez.
Tough call there. Again, this is a very young line as well. That's the left guard there, the sophomore. And he'll have to go to a long yardage situation.
Cathedral just has just a long line, no pun intended, of good offensive linemen.
They really do.
And they come in young, play for 3 years, They come in at 250 and they leave at 305.
And if you don't think Cathedral's line gets it done, just remember that when we go to watch San Diego State in 2 weeks at the brand new Snapdragon Stadium, they'll have two members of that offensive line that spent time in this Cathedral offensive line.
2nd and 23, a backbreaker for the Dons as they have the ball now on their own 44. Play action pass roll to the right.
Stevens keeps it under pressure there. Great pressure from Nate Campbell, the senior on this line.
And they're calling is that a pass interference call?
It sure looks like it. Snyder seems to be very upset by the call. He's their
we got to see that again.
Outside corner along with Buxton. We'll take a look here off the play action. I was looking at Campbell the entire time, but we'll see what we get on the outside. Oh, you can see the hands pushing down for Ramo. You know he's the substitute tight end, for lack of a better term.
We need to go to the end zone camera for that replay. The yardage is not the big deal here. It's the automatic first down that is the problem for Mater Dei, and the
especially as that clock keeps moving.
As the perk for
41-yard line.
We're looking at 2nd and 5
there
now.
with
2nd and 5.
Let's see if
Toss,
it matters.
oh boy!
Here comes Bond. Got two big blocks being held up right now. Nice hold up there by Lopez. And there's some extracurriculars on the outside. It looks like Snyder got pushed down. We don't know why, but they're getting him out of there, and you see Doyle trying to keep the peace. A flag flew, but we don't know if that flag will actually turn out to be anything.
The way the Dons sideline is reacting, it's going against Mater Dei, who are compounding mistake after mistake now. Turnovers and penalties have been the story of the game if you're a Crusader fan.
Madden for Ramo. The guy who picked the player of the game, whoever that is, I'm going to go yell at him. I have to look in a mirror to do it because right now he's got an interception and a fumble recovery.
Yeah, well, we had to make, in our defense, we had to choose in the first half, and we said things could change in the second half. We just want to play with our QR code a little bit and see how it all works.
We sure do. They're sorting everything out right now.
Because Ferramo's been a one-man wrecking machine with the pick and the fumble recovery.
The play is a first down. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. They offset, first down.
All right.
No harm and no foul there.
Right now, Mater Dei is as concerned with the numbers in the corner of the screen as they are with the kids in the white jerseys, as they're battling both a defending state champion Cathedral team and time left. With only 7:28 to go in the game, they need to get the ball back in their hands.
And we'll see how that pathway starts.
And now,
first and 10.
If I'm Cathedral, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to bunch it up and just
back to Bond. Look at the great blocks there. Nice big time put down.
There was a bear hug.
I saw Tony Lopez doing a nice shot there as well.
I guess there was no penalty flag. I don't see one.
They do what they do.
But man, if I'm the Dons, this is what. Come on.
Oh, also also if you're the Dons, as much of a fight as you're having now, I only want to point out that next week they're playing the number 9 team in the country at home against Centennial, who, by the way, won 71-0 on Friday. That's what they get to do next week after this.
We'll take a quick break. We'll pick up that point on the other side.
getting real chippy.
Getting back to the game.
And you can see the fatigue there. You can see the player getting stretched
Chase
out.
Isadora, if you're listening, I want to know how many penalties we have on Mater Dei and in yardage if you have it. You know, you were talking about, as we wait for this to get marked off, you were talking about Sean Doyle and the schedule. And that's the thing I respect most about Cathedral is they'll play all comers.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And that's what we were talking about. And just to go back to that Cathedral schedule as they move closer to the end zone, next week they're playing Centennial. They're 9th in the country. You know what they're going to do after that? They're going to play Chandler, one of the best teams in Arizona. How good? Chandler's 8th in the country. Then they're going to go home and play the defending D1 champions in Helix. And then you know who they have home after that? Only De La Salle, number 37 in the country.
That's an insane schedule. And even in a year when you're down a little bit, I think Sean Doyle would say he's got playing a lot of young kids.
You're replacing the Silver Pigskin winner, Lucky Sutton, replacing Jackson Moy. Charlie Myrer, who was able to walk on at Stanford. I think that was Stanford. Apologies if I'm wrong.
But there's a lot to admire, and that's the thing. There's a lot to admire about Cathedral Catholic, but that's the thing I admire most is that no one's going to accuse them of playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. They play anybody.
And even guys like Tana Latuli that they have to replace is going into the armed forces.
1st and 10, Cathedral.
And they say, no, we're going to step up and finish out the contracts that we've signed. But right now they want to finish out this Mater Dei club.
On the 10, and right now with 7:03 to play, I'm betting the ball.
Big breakout, making it happen. Sean Kagan in the end zone. Looks like a touchdown, is a touchdown. And with 6:57 to go, Cathedral feeling mighty comfortable down south. Take a look, Paul.
And how many times have we seen Cathedral in that play? The fullback power.
More than you could ever believe. And he goes right under. It was like a surfer going under the wave of that big offensive line and making it happen exactly when they needed to. Going through guys like Sam Brown, a big senior leader on this team. Excuse me, a junior leader on this team.
That's Anthony Lopez limping off the field with 6:57. It's going to be a 2-score game. Can we hear from our reporters? Bo, what do you got?
Lucas Burning in for the PAT for Cathedral.
Yeah, at this point, you love to see the effort by number 3, Trey Edwards, coming in on offense. But you think, why is he playing offense and not defense? Well, defense is a reactive side of the ball. If he's reacting on a bad ankle, you can compound that injury. And on the offensive side, he's one step downhill, so he knows what he's doing. He created that last touchdown for Mater Dei, but on that drive, Cathedral just stuck with their bread and butter. They knew what they were doing, and Mater Dei's still not out of this game, guys. There's plenty of time left. If they score still with 4 minutes left, 2 minutes left, they still have 2 timeouts. Cathedral Catholic has 1 timeout remaining. It's just tough because Cathedral is just going to stick with their base defense like Paul mentioned earlier. They're going to continue to rush 4. They're continuing to get pressure. Lapizzi, great effort as well on the defensive end. Took a couple plays off, then came right back in after I mentioned he was done and got that interception. Jerry McClure has been silent in this second half. He had a couple big plays in that first half. Mater Dei is going to need to make a big play on the offensive end. Radcliffe, these guys, Victory Johnson on the defensive end, they are studs. They are living up to expectations. But Mater Dei is a 7-on-7 offense, and this is what they're primed for, down 14 with 7 minutes left.
All right, we're going to see the kickoff now as Mater Dei has committed 15 penalties to Cathedral's 8. Mater Dei, the home team, so you can't say it's home. It's 15
went out of bounds there.
Right, so just a Cathedral with 15 penalties.
So you can add a ninth.
Yeah, 9 penalties. But I'd be interested. It's not only the number of penalties, which 15 is a lot, but the yardage involved. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. True. The bowling ball has 3 holes. All right. We welcome back to Mater Dei High School. We have another penalty. That would be penalty number 16 on Mater Dei, as they keep stepping on their own tail. With 6:22 to play, they're looking at a 2nd 11 with the ball on their own 39. I think Bo said it best. They do have a high. They have the bullet train offense where they can score quickly. Will Cathedral allow that, though, as they seem to be letting everything stay in front of them?
I'm thinking that they hope it's no.
Oh.
Nankill almost loses the ball, almost loses the yardage, and instead will opt to just lose 2 yards instead.
So 3rd and 13 with the ball on their own 34.
A quick discussion of where Mater Dei goes from here. As we mentioned, they're home against Carlsbad, and we'll be right back there for the game of the week. They've also got tough games against Red Mountain out of Arizona. They're the 7th-ranked team in Arizona. And then facing Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule, no one's going to accuse them of playing a soft schedule.
No, they will not.
As they got jumped up a couple divisions, right?
Yes, interesting Saints team that's young. They have, and Central, by the way, those teams in the Imperial Valley playing very tough. I haven't seen them this good since the Royce Freeman
era. Our 2015 Silver Pigskin Player of the Year, I believe?
Something like that.
I can never remember.
Nankill looking, doesn't have anything, so uses those legs, slides down right near midfield. Gets a good 15 on that one. They left it open and soft.
Picked up the first down as the chains move. The ball now just around midfield. As this kid doing it with both his arm and leg.
Shows everything that he's got here. Read the middle really nicely. You talked about them using Bo talked about them using a quarterback spy, and they certainly did not use one there, and it did not work out to their advantage.
Yeah, you know what the problem with spying on him is that you don't have somebody.
Nice catch by McClure.
How many teams have somebody who's as quick as he is who could actually legitimately be a spy? To be an effective spy of the quarterback, you have to be able to match him step for step.
And you have to be an effective guy at closing in as well. It's a linebacker's job, but the linebacker has to be as fast as the quarterback.
He's a rare talent. Consequently, there's rare people that can
handle this situation.
So we're at 2nd and 10, ball on the 47-yard line, 5:28 to go. It continues to be a thorn in Mater Dei's side as they are struggling.
McClure again, 2nd straight catch there.
Effective gain, though. Clock stops.
Memory serves, that's catch number 9 for him today. As the clock continues to move, 5:20 now. So we look up, 3rd down now and about 5 to go. They continue to use this. Watch out for the screen here. A screen could be effective. They've used Jalen Hall for that. They could also use the bubble coming through from their inside, their slot receivers. We wait to see the instructions.
Everybody goes
Note Bunkum here on the inside and how he could be used. Motion now with Bunkum. Now he's going after the side.
Motion.
And the snap's over his head. Nankill grabbing it at the 35. Looking around, throwing it to somebody, anybody. And finds McClure. It won't mean much, but it sure was cool to watch.
On a 3rd and 4 play, did they gain yards?
They did gain. They got 3 yards there, 3 or 4 yards out of that.
That might be your play of the game, regardless.
Let me see if they did. Oh no, they got just got a couple yards off of it, but it's pretty darn cool.
It's for the 4th and 4 now, or 4th and 2? 4th and 5, excuse me. So it was a completion for a loss.
And a big thank you, by the way, to all of you who've been watching us since 6 o'clock and who've been dedicated to doing so. Thank you to those who have been looking online, those who are looking at their phones, their computers, their tablets, their lappers.
So Cathedral's going to take a timeout. Are we going to take a timeout? Let's see that replay again. It was a 4th and 5 play, and Nankill almost made a brilliant throw again under the pressure of the Dons' relentless pass rush. He finds his man, was trying to lead.
Couldn't finish it.
He was trying to lead Snyder to the opening, and it just, now, you know what, legs are getting a little rubbery.
And he also had Will Bond in range, too, who's done a lot tonight. So it's hard to fold him.
Some people have the physiques of a D1 player, and other people have the heart of one. Will Bond is one of those guys who just has the heart of a D1 player.
Flag on the play here, maybe a false start on this offensive line. We'll wait and find out.
I know, but it doesn't work.
So we're looking at with 5:06 left in the contest.
Oh, no, turns out that was...
and it'll be a 1st and 5
that was an
for
encroachment there,
Cathedral.
a little infraction action.
Who would be wise just to run.
Well, good news is it's a team that is good at running it.
This is a situation, they have that great 4 to 5 minute offense that can just sap your soul. I call it the soul sappers.
And we'll see what kind of sapping it does here. Was the ball in the ground? Oh, no, looked at the ball's ground for a moment, but just a short run. Just a small bird, little birdie just told me there were 6 people on the Mater Dei sidelines getting rolled out with cramps.
Yep. Well, a hot, muggy day.
When you reach the 4th quarter, it's a tough time. If you didn't hydrate right, you're running around the field. And Cathedral, I'm not sure if this is offensive kids or defensive kids, but a team like Cathedral can wear one out.
Yeah, I mean, it has an advantage if you don't have to play a lot of guys on both ends of the field, you know, on both sides of the ball. As we're looking at the clock ticking down, we're now under 4:30, 2nd and 5. The Dons up by 14. They cannot score again if you're a Mater Dei fan. You need the ball back. What you really need right now is a turnover. And here we go. You're talking about
Stevens, they want to throw, and he's got some lane, he's got space, he's got some surge. Can he get past Buxton? Can he get past Overstreet? Down to the 2-yard line. Stevens, Nevada special. The slot machine rolls a jackpot.
All we've been talking about is Nankill this, Nankill that, and his mobility. And number 2, deuces are wild. As this was a design run from the get-go as the behind the pulling guard.
And look at the great job picking up the block by the sophomore. And then you see the skills here. That's incredible. Those are 2 guys that will play Division I football, and he carved his way around them.
And now I just think you keep the ball on the ground and plow it in. 1st and 5, 1st and goal from the 5. Cathedral about to the coup de grace, I believe, is what the French would call it.
We will see. We will see if that is true.
Oh,
they tried to give it to Verissimo there. Oh, no, excuse me. That was Ballesteri.
And there's another.
And somebody's in need of some service. That would be
Nate
Purvis.
Campbell.
Oh, that's Nate Campbell. I'm sorry, not Purvis.
Nate Campbell.
My eyes have lost me. I'm getting. Someone needs to roll out my eyes. But it's tough sledding. Ballesteri finally getting a carry here.
Loss of 5 yards on the
So we're looking at 2nd and goal.
And you see the pause here for Cathedral. They know exactly what they're supposed to be doing here, which is milking this clock and getting ready to make the final strike. Yeah. But you have to get in the end zone if that's your intention. And I don't believe this is a goal situation.
I don't even. Right now, all they have to do is run clock.
I'm saying I don't think it's 2nd and goal. I think this is 2nd and 10 genuinely.
No, because it was a 1st and 5. They lost 5 yards. So
that's okay.
So I think it's.
Yes.
2nd and 10, but it's 2nd and goal.
They should really just, drop the 10 part.
Yeah.
So that way I don't lose my memory.
So, back behind center, Stevens, as they give it to the fullback. We'll eat up another
point run there by Ford. Ford almost scored a touchdown earlier in this game in the 2nd quarter. He got down to the 2-yard line. Be interesting to see if he can get one now. Ford, the sophomore running back, is a backup behind Bond. technically a fullback in this offense. The fullback is the one that gets the yards, not the halfback.
I go back to something Bert Grossman said on the PPR and said something pregame, and actually been saying all game long. Until someone actually beats Cathedral, you should never bet against them because
of the wonderful things he does.
Yeah. And Bert, with his analysis,
we'll see
was spot on again.
And Ford in the backfield. And you can see it there. Ford in the end zone. There are some whistles. What do they mean? Celebration, but is it a touchdown? It sounds like a bring it back.
Bring it back.
On the offense.
False start
5-yard
there.
penalty, replay, third down.
But you know what? That won't make them mad at all because what it did do was take 30 seconds off the clock. Again, another big busting block by the pulling guard there. A big boy for only being a 10th grader.
Dandy Don used to sing a little song, "Turn out the lights."
Well.
Yeah.
Don't start singing yet. Well, allow me to be the other member of that booth from back in the day and say, "Don't turn out that."
What Chick Hearns or Chick Hearns?
No. Good legend, not the one you're looking for. Instead, going to Ford again. Nice slap down there. Gets him down at the 5-yard line. Looks like it was Lopez who brought him down. Against some extracurriculars there. Can't be having that at all.
Does Cathedral kick the field goal, or do you just run the clock?
No, you run that ball. Now, it would be a 3-score lead if you kicked the field goal, but you didn't come down to Mater Dei. You came down to Mater Dei to do 2 things.
Win the game.
Win the game. And probably eat some good Mexican food, too.
Or
on the bus back home.
I think they came down to remind everybody that they're Cathedral Catholic. Because let's face it, all the pub was going Mater Dei's way going into this contest. We certainly played into that with, as you see the clock tick under 1:30. And I think Cathedral...
A man of a certain age would say, here comes the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah, I think...
Jack Stevens, he's a new boss. Escapes one. Can he get to the end zone? Knocked down by the duo of Snyder and Lopez.
That was just a silly... A lot of bad things could have happened when you throw across the formation like that.
Not recommended.
Yeah. But with 18 to go, I think you're going to see the safeties play about 30 yards deep right now.
And a reminder, don't run too far. We will continue to talk as soon as this game is over. If it ends the way it looks like it will, we'll go on the field and get some reaction from both these teams as we get towards 9 o'clock.
A note to Bo and Allison. I know you're listening in. Get your guess on. We're gonna fill right up to 8:59. So we want to get to you first before we recap the highlights. So make sure let's get both coaches if we can. Or
I would love to hear from Mr.
I'd love to know do we have results from our QR code?
We just had some recent results, actually. Looks as if you, the viewers, think that Mr. Ratcliffe was our player of the game.
Of the 4 we gave you a choice from.
48%.
Because right now, I might vote for Mr. Bond.
That is true.
And I'll tell you what.
And the Cathedral said no time to die. Yeah. Handoff inside now. Oh, that's got to be tough. Look at the steamroll pushing McMillan, led by Luke Westfall. I continue to be so impressed with how the sophomores on this team are playing in the 4th quarter.
Absolutely
This
amazing.
is when the seniors are supposed to step up, and when the underclassmen are the ones that are doing it. It just shows you just how good you are and how well they've been taught by the senior leadership as well.
So we're
and they're looking down. It does not look fun here.
All right, so we're gonna. It looks like they're just gonna
do what they can. Hard to throw around the ball when you're stuck in the back of the end zone. Nankill looking. Ooh, big hit by Ratcliffe. That's his 2nd big hit of the day, and boy, does George feel it. And I don't know, it looks like we might get a leading with the helmet flag here.
I don't think they call it targeting in in high school, but that's kind of what the call is.
It was on target, a little too on target. Both men having some trouble getting up here. We can see, it looks like Ratcliffe is still down. Yep, Ratcliffe and George are still down. We'll see how long they are down. To reset here as we get ready for the end of this ball game, Cathedral up by 14. It looked like it was going to be tough on them early in the ball game.
for the previous spot. First down.
Well,
And that's the call, the helmet to helmet, which you certainly cannot
all it
do.
does is prolong the agony as Cathedral will come down to the South Bay and leave with, I would have to say, a convincing win as you look at the score. You know, I think Cathedral came down, and I think, you know, they weren't really sure of what they were stepping into. But once they got their confidence,
Once they got their sea legs.
yeah, they played more self-assured, and that's when the tone of the contest shifted permanently in their favor.
This will be, this will be their, I believe, 10th win in a row. They haven't lost since they took the trip up to Concord to face De La Salle. And that was a game, by the way, they were up 14-0 early at before falling down. That last loss was September 17th of last year. And since then, they've racked up a lot of victories, most of them convincingly. And they will also say a lot about the doubters here. Nankill doing his best now with the throw over the head and almost intercepted as well. There's a close one to Overstreet, 32.
One bit of injury news for those Scripps Ranch Falcon fans who saw Jax Leatherwood get injured in their opener against Brawley and loss.
Could be a difficult one.
Yeah, so we don't know if we're going to when we'll see him again. Hopefully, we're going to have him on the Prep Picks Report this Friday night.
Him and Trevor Pernucci, hoping to have those guys as the guests. Hopefully, the best out to Jax as we wait to see how that goes. Hand off to McMillan here is going to get a couple yards. Big group here, led by Kagan, led by Johnson, and a flag late. This is the stuff you cannot have late.
You know what?
He's
Now
going to leave the field with pride, guys.
One penalty flag is on the play.
Plus, it's cutting into our post game.
Yes, it is. We can't be having that either. Johnson taking care of the business there. We'll see if the flag is on. Looked like Cathedral, but may not have been.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 58 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Unnecessary one there on the young one, whose name I've said a lot today, more than I expected. We take a look at the run again. Look at how the way that Fremo breaks off, but then look at the way that Kagan makes the marker. There's the extracurriculars there, as you can see.
Why?
As he fell off.
Why?
Just no reason.
Yeah.
The two of them just could not seem to separate from one another.
All right.
21 seconds to go here. Last couple plays. And we'll see what they can do. They got to get down the field. Technically, they can still win this one, but it's going to take a lot. They're shifting everyone. Now it's 5 wide with McMillan. Better throw the ball soon now as the clock goes past 10. Looking down and picked off by Matted Fremo. Tripped up, really wanted the touchdown there. That's his second pick of the day. Third turnover he's been involved in. For Ramo, a dominant performance. Part of a great day for this defense. 3 turnovers in this ball game.
Mistakes, modern day mistakes certainly played into the outcome, but I think all credit goes to Cathedral, the coaching staff. I think really to me what the big difference was is coming out of the halftime break, the adjustments Cathedral made on their first offensive possession of the second half. I think that's what set the tone. Kudos.
And credit to John Montali, who runs that defense with pride.
So I guess our kudos to everybody here at KUSI. I just want to thank Fred Swift, Vince Douglas, everybody that's down at the ball yard. We obviously have to get out at the top of the hour
Big
here.
thanks to Modern Day for working with us all month.
Yeah, big thanks to Jared at Modern Day, the AD there. And folks, I'll tell you what, this was a lot of fun. I hope we get to do it again.
So thankful to you for being a part of this program.
Keep it here on KUSI. We'll have all the post game from this on Nick James's Sportscast tonight.
The All Sports Report at 10:45 we'll have the KUSI News at 10. Of course, be here for you. We're so thankful for your viewership as this was an incredible victory for Cathedral Catholic. Make it 10 in a row. The state champions come out and do what they need to do against the other state champions. Certainly not the end of the road for Modern Day, but we will see them next week on the PPR in your game of the
As they say, same bat time, or no, same pig time, same pig channel. 28-14, your final score. Thank you for watching the KUSI Saturday Night Special.